I won't bless that guy, that son of a
that son of a that poor son, that poor son, that
son of a bitch.
Hello, everybody. We've passed the 333 milestone without any fanfare at all, and that's just the way we like it. That's just the way we like it here on the Pro Crastinators podcast. How's everyone doing? We got Neverpaint here as our guest. And me and Gib and Ben Saint and Gib and Take and Neverpaint just fucking around. Yep. Oh shit! Can't say profanity in the first minute.
Yeah, you swear. Now everything's gonna go to ruin. It's gonna get cancelled.
Just replace it with an even worse curse.
I used I censored my more extreme profanity in the Mega Man lecture, which I announced.
Ooh.
Twitter posted, I have revealed the secret project was the Mega Man lecture all along. It is rendering right now, but it will be rendering for the next 4 days. Because
How the fuck?
I think my computer is just starting to show its age a little bit. I don't think it should take this long. I mean, it should maybe take half that long. I mean, it's an 8-hour video. And it's got lots of filters on this, on color filters on the footage and all that. So it's
got 19 filters to look as fucked up as possible.
I just boosted the color contrast and whatever a little bit. I mean, and it's kind of a high res video. It's not in 4K. It's in 2560 by 1440. So, it's a pretty high resolution 8-hour video. So a serious render period is not unexpected, although I was hoping it would be less than 100 hours, but oh well. What can you do? As 20%, I'm just over 24 hours into the render now, and it is just past the 20% mark. Are we at 21%? Yes, we are at 21%.
A running commentary. You should do a stream of the running commentary of the fucking render.
It will be out when this episode comes out, unless some...
The upload also takes 4 days.
The upload will definitely not take as long as the render. The upload will probably only take a few hours. The only reason it would not be out is if I discover that, there was some fuck up in the footage that I need to, oops, I have to render it all over again, which I pray to God is not the case, but,
Yeah, it's
you never know.
There's the naked filter, and you've accidentally put that on your footage, and now you're naked.
How embarrassing.
I have a low resolution render that I did beforehand that I might watch it through at some point again. I already watched it through basically one time to catch anything before I made my final corrections. But what if I fuck something else up during my final corrections? So now I gotta watch it through again.
How do anybody make big video? Surely they have secret technology.
They make many small videos and put them together in the end.
I mean, that's kind of a possible way to do it. If you've got heavily edited things, it takes longer to render that with the filters on than it does to stitch two fully rendered video files together in a video editor.
Ebola spreading on Twitter suggested that I render it in chunks and then stitch them together in Handbrake, but I looked it up and you can't do that. A Handbrake doesn't do that. Is there some other program you would use to stitch videos together? Wouldn't you just have to put them in a Vegas timeline and render them?
Take a sewing needle and some thread, and then you go.
No, thank you.
Well, I guess we can't talk about the contents because neither me or Neverpaint have had time to see it.
Oh,
because it's not existing.
Oh, well, that's okay. I'll send it to you right now, and you can watch it real quick, and then we can reconvene.
8-hour episode, live reaction.
8-hour episode of a reaction to the lecture.
Bonus? Do I smell a bonus episode?
Oh, no.
More like 4 bonus episodes. Gotta make that.
Yeah. So I don't know. That's pretty exciting.
Remember monthly bonus episodes? That was the time. That was a thing.
Okay, we don't do them every month anymore, but do them sometimes.
Is the Patreon description like updated to that, or does it still say that?
Oof, no, I have not really edited anything on the Patreon.
I think it probably still says that you want to like make PCPHQ real and all that.
Oh god, yeah, it probably
that's
does.
probably still there.
It probably does. I don't.
Can't wait.
You can't wait. It's gonna
so
be
much great content. Oh my god,
it's coming.
Still
any
coming.
Day now. Any day now.
The PCB HQ is now going to be in the metaverse, so we won't even have to be in the same place.
We can have legs now. Legs are coming.
Leg.
Why did they not have legs? Like, that's so weird.
I think the technical reason is that they use the cameras in the headset to track the face and the arms around it. The torso doesn't really move that much, so they don't animate that, but it can't check your legs. But I don't know why they can't just add little fake legs that do
like
an
every
animation.
video game does.
It's sort of baffling why that's a problem. How
Honestly,
is this costing like billions upon billions of dollars? I really don't understand that part of it.
I don't really I mean, I think it looked fine without legs. I didn't miss the legs, and then they announced legs. I'm like, okay, I guess you can add legs if you need to.
It's just sort of like, the metaverse being like a new thing that's trying to be made is like whatever. I'm not shocked and appalled by it. It's just sort of the money.
I'm a little
how
shocked
is he
and appalled.
spending all of his money on something that is VR that already exists quite well?
I'm a little shocked and appalled just because I know that what's on the surface it's it's stupid. We already have Second Life, but underneath I know that what it is like this massive corporation, this like hundreds of billions of dollars valued company is going to try to throw its weight around to what's the word to basically to privatize commerce in metaverse form, to like take as much of society under its own ownership with this Trojan horse of this
the whole
metaverse.
stuff with like, oh, you can purchase a property on the metaverse, get yours today.
It's actually extremely sinister. So
all I can hope is that I'm not forced to do it.
Yeah,
because I don't want to.
I just saw a video about how unsuccessful it is, that there's only like a few hundred people online in the biggest hubs at the time, and it's a very small community there's not really happening anything in there.
I mean, I hope it stays that way. I
can see it being like, oh, we're a big stupid business and we are stupid business people, so we've got we've got so much money, so we're gonna buy like the biggest most state-of-the-art meeting rooms possibilities, so we can have meetings from multiple locations, and they buy the metaverse VR headsets and they have a meeting room where people put the headsets on.
I could see,
and
like,
that's about like the extent of like the user base for the metaverse.
I can understand one like gullible tech bro like convincing another, like, no, this is the future, man, this is the future, and it's like, yeah, the future. like a mind virus spreading from one dweeb to another, and like maybe one of those dweebs happens to be like the boss of some Fortune 500 company or something. But like putting on your VR headset to fucking do commerce is just not. Nobody wants to do that. So
it's not a significant benefit, like more so than like Zoom. Like, the ability to talk to people across the world with video is already, like, does most of the job.
Yeah, it really does.
No, they should instead focus on hologram technology and have, like, this thing that they have in the Star Wars prequels, where they have the conference room and then there's some people as holograms sitting in their chairs. That's way techier and prettier. Let's try that.
VR is fine. I don't really use it because it's like clunky. Like, they have the Oculus Rift. I played a little bit with it, I haven't touched it in a long time because like I need to set up a whole like room space for it or whatever. It just takes a lot of.
Was it like a Kickstarter goal at some point to
So
get you?
Vapors
For the
Kickstarter.
I think it was for the Vapors 2 Kickstarter. No, or was it It was one of the Vapors Kickstarter. There was a stretch goal because I just needed an extra stretch goal. I was like, if I hit this goal, I'll buy an Oculus Rift, and then I did.
Has nothing to do with anything, but like, would be nice to have one.
We did play it at RadCon 3 though. No, 4.
Well,
RadCon 4.
it was a Misanthropony meme, wasn't it? The Oculus Rift.
Yes, that's right. It was because he said at the time
Ben
I was
Saint
making like
makes
$300 something on Patreon.
Which is enough to buy an Oculus Rift every month.
It is right. It's very funny that like that's how you conceptualize value. Just like I guess he looked at that number and like the first thing he thought of that costs about that much is a VR headset.
That's probably before the Switch came out.
Oh yeah. Damn. Man, it feels like the Switch just came out. I can't believe it's been like 4 years.
7 years.
7? Shut up.
I think
Don't
it's
scare
true.
me like.
It's not. Unless it is, because I don't know.
Didn't it come out in 2017 or something? It's probably...
No.
I think so.
Wait.
17 or 18?
I mean, it feels about that old. Like, what came out initially, there was ARMS, and, like, the weird, like, it's got, the controllers have, like, motion sensor in them, so you can sort of feel, like, haptic feedback. You can feel a little ball bearing moving around. There's, like, a little
You're right,
mini
2017.
Yeah.
So it's
and
been
that was all it had. And then,
5
like,
years.
Labo was later.
Okay, 5 years. Yeah. That's yeah.
So that lecture video that is coming out, is that accessible for people who know nothing about Mega Man? Is that like complete beginner's guide?
The goal of it is explains the lore, like as it is expressed in the games themselves. It's like what lore is there in every individual game in the whole series. So if you just want to know like what's in the Mega Man games stories, it explains it to you. It doesn't cover like alternate tellings, like there's like cartoons and manga and stuff, and they're all like kind of similar to the games, but they're all a little bit different. So I was like, I don't talk about any of that. I'm just focusing on like the games themselves. Yeah,
And that was enough to talk about.
For 8 hours, yes. You know, I was thinking, we were on the subject of that. I don't want. I guess we're only 15 minutes into the episode. I'm not monopolizing it yet, but I did want to say that I have I bought a lot of stuff to make this lecture. I had to buy a new microphone. I had to buy a bunch of like lights. I had to buy like tripods and like light stands and stuff. So I invested some money into like setting up the ability to like produce a lecture like this, because I could not have done it with just stuff I had lying around. I was rewriting my Patreon like yesterday and then this morning, because I am sort of hoping, I say so at the end of the lecture, I say like I'm hoping that like I can sort of make lecture making kind of like a pillar of my online presence going forward. I kind of want to structure it around like, okay, I have like patron goals. I'm gonna now that I have the stuff to make it, I'm gonna be like using my Patreon money to like hire an editor. This one I edited all by myself and it was a nightmare. So if I make another one in the future, which I hope I will, I'm gonna like pay an editor to do like some of the grunt like rough editing for me, and stuff like that. And I'm gonna what's the other thing? Oh yeah, I'm gonna have like patron goals. I decided that if I get 100 patrons, I'm gonna like do a poll, and I'm gonna let patrons like vote on a on a topic for me, whatever they want. That'll be funny. And I'm really hopeful. I'm really hopeful that the video does well. Because I've sort of like, I don't know, I guess I've kind of staked my plan for like the future of myself as a content creator on like doing more stuff like this. So if it doesn't work out, that's a little bit of a sunk cost. That's all I have to say.
The 8-hour tag definitely is appealing to people, I think. Like that makes it
To
stand
some
out
people.
a lot.
To some, yeah. I mean, for me, I would see that and I'd be like, hell yeah.
Yeah.
I know it's not everybody's cup of tea, but
I think it's plenty of people's cup of tea because it's so popular and so lucrative for everyone who does it.
Fucking Wendigoon and like Quentin Reviews put out like 6-hour videos and everybody loves it. So everybody knows Shay May's 7-hour Omega Ruby video. So,
when I first heard about that, that was a big deal. That like people talked about that. It just became kind of a meme.
I was actually relieved. I was relieved that I hit 8 hours instead of 7, so I could be longer than Shay May's video.
Now it has to get longer and longer every time you do one of these. To be more and more impressive.
I would not necessarily have to make them all 8 hours long, but I also have no idea. I don't know what my next one would be. Like, say like the video does well, but I don't immediately reach, like, get 100 new patrons. Like, that's fine. I'd still do another one. I would just pick the topic myself, but I have absolutely no clue what it would be about. That's it. That's all I have to say. I'd think of something.
Make a lecture about making gummies. Just in your kitchen.
That doesn't need to be a lecture. That doesn't need to be a lecture, actually.
I feel like you talked about that for like 2 years on the PCP. You can't squeeze an 8-hour video out of that.
No.
Too bad.
I don't think so. I could just reading all my old notes about like failed the entire recipes.
lore.
Would be so boring. Oh my god.
So first I did it like this, and then it was bad. So then I did it like this, and it was a little bit better, but it was still bad. And then I did it like this.
First I did sheet gelatin, and then I tried 4 sheets, but then I tried 3 sheets, but then I tried 4 sheets again, but with less water. But then I tried 3 sheets, but with more water. And then I switched to powdered gelatin.
Oh, what a twist.
Whoa, everyone's like, oh my god, he switched to powdered gelatin. That's my secret ingredient. What? The whole arc started with rejecting powdered gelatin and going all fancy. And I thought I was so clever, switching to sheet gelatin. Turned out, no. Powdered was the way to go all along. Surprise twist ending.
You see, if you do that for 8 hours, that would be really funny. Even if I wouldn't watch it.
It could go on for more than 40 minutes.
Yeah. My hope is that the Mega Man lecture will be interesting all the way through, and not something like that the Gummy lecture would be, which is just me babbling.
And then Mega Man went here and he saw Dr. Light. Dr. Light said, Mega Man, die.
That's pretty much the story. Okay, for the first like 8 games, it kind of is just like I go through them pretty fast because a lot of them are just like the story of this game is Wily built 8 robots and you have to fight them, and then you do. Okay, that's the story of this one. And then the next one is a different guy comes in and he made 8 robots and you fight him, but then it was actually Wily all along, and then you fight him. Okay, that's the sort of thing. Anyway, the next game is Powdered Mega Man. Powdered Mega Man has got more surface area than the other ones.
So he feels more pain per square inch.
There are a couple of really wacky things. Quint and Rockman Shadow are a really bizarre piece of Mega Man lore that I'm excited for people to maybe find out about. I think maybe most people don't know about those two. There's a part. I'll be honest. This is embarrassing. There's a part where I'm describing the story of Mega Man 04, and I literally like almost start crying.
No, that's good.
That's great. Like, okay, I'm not like audibly like about to like cry or anything, but like at the time I remember I could feel like some emotion, and I had to be like, no, I gotta calm down. I can't.
If you did cry, that would be a great thumbnail image. Man cries talking about Mega Man's lore.
I just love the Zero games so much. They're so much better than the rest of them. I wonder if that's a hot take. I'm not sure. I don't think so.
How popular is Mega Man at the moment? Are people like?
I see people talking about Mega Man recently more than I used to. This year is the 35th anniversary. So I think people are talking about X9, like when is X9 getting announced? I think people are expecting it. I don't know if it's actually happening anytime soon.
It's what you should call your video. Call it like X9 announcement trailer Mega Man. So people click on it.
I think I'm gonna call it something like Mega Man, every game's lore exhaustively explained, or something like that, or I don't know.
Thoroughly analyzing Mega Man.
What is it like? Frantically rambling for 8 hours about the story of every Mega Man game, or something like that.
Title it like a Jane Nicholson video and just call it like Mega Man lowercase.
The Mega Man video.
I guess the audience will know.
Yeah, I mean the 3 videos that inspired it were it was Jenny Nicholson's The Vampire Diaries video.
Oh yeah.
It was Mike's what is it called? An appropriately unhinged recap of Pretty Little Liars. And then it was what was her name? Carrie Ken Reed's desperately explaining the plot of Crescent City so you don't have to read all 800 pages. Was the title of that one. So, a title that communicates desperation, unhingedness, deranged attitude.
It's always very core.
A sick mindset. The themes of mental illness. What you want to see on YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that was a lot of my week. You know what else I did this week? The other big thing this week, I played Inscription.
What did you think?
I loved it. Solaru had a Steam key and gave me a free Steam key for it, which was great. So I played it, and it was amazing. What can I say? I can't say that much about it. I can't say everything I would say about it because it's very spoiler sensitive. But I will say that I knew there would be twists, but the twists were not what I expected them to be. And they just kept coming, and they surprised and delighted me. Yeah.
Have you talked about this game before? Because I don't really remember what it was about.
Someone I think told me, someone in a voicemail I think told me I should play it.
Okay.
I think, and I had other people recommend it to me before. So yeah,
it's funny that like you play the game and you have the same response as everyone, being like, "Oh, I can't say anything about it, but oh, it's good."
You really can't. Okay, I mean, you've seen the footage. It's like a card game, but it's also like it's set in like a room that you can walk around and like explore the room that you're in. So you've seen that. So I mean,
is it like Undertale?
I could point out some surface similarities, but no, not really.
Is there sand in it?
Yes, that's the surface similarity I was talking about.
Hell yeah.
I guess it's like I could say. I mean the game's the game, there's a lot more to it. There's a lot more to it than you think.
Like frog fractions?
You know, a little bit. Yeah, a little bit. It's almost a little bit spoilery to make the comparison, but a little bit. Yeah, a little bit.
Because it's like if the game is a card game, and that's the game, I generally don't like card games unless they're easy, because I always feel stupid and unlucky when I play a card game like that, where you draw a card and sometimes it sucks.
Well, there's the card game, and then there's the room that you're playing the card game in, and they're both like part of the real game.
Yeah.
The card game part of it, I've played enough of. I played a lot of it this week. I'm still not like, I can't beat it like 100% of the time, but I've definitely gotten better at it. And you know, I think it's like if once you learn the game, you know that there are ways to mitigate randomness. Before you learn the game, you don't know that, and then the fact that you have failed to mitigate that randomness means that you draw a bad hand because you set yourself up to draw a bad hand, and then you go, oh, well, it's all luck of the draw. It's all RNG. But it's not actually.
I mean, it sounds interesting.
It's just one of those things, isn't it? Like, a game that is like, oh, it's got so many twists, so many interesting things, you gotta play it.
Yeah.
Telling me that already is sort of spoilering the experience of playing the game and finding that stuff out, because now I'm going to be waiting until it does something insane.
Yeah. I mean, I knew there were twists. I was still surprised. But
you wouldn't be interested in the game if you didn't know that there would be twists, right? Like, it's just would just be,
I guess so,
random card game simulator.
I don't know. I feel like with a game that has like more to it, if you can sell somebody on like the initial premise of the game to get them interested in playing that, and then not telling them about anything special that might happen. Like, I remember when I pitched Outer Wilds to you, Ben, I did not at all mention the time thing. I just mentioned that it was a cool space game where you explore.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like all of the things that you learn, I left out. And I felt like that was a pretty good pitch, and it got you interested.
It was when you said that you have to like adjust your like speed to like match the like celestial body you want to land on. I was like, oh, what kind of game? What kind of game makes you do that? What the fuck?
Yeah.
So that was interesting.
So like on the surface, Outer Worlds is like really fun just because of the things on the surface, but then there's the stuff under the surface where it's like, oh, cool, oh, interest, oh, intrigue. So I'm thinking, is this Inscription game, like, the card game's really fun once you get the hang of it?
I'll say.
And then also there's weird stuff, but we won't tell you about that until you're playing.
I have actually been playing the like sort of like challenge mode, like it's called Casey's Mod, which is pretty much just the card game, but with like a slightly different like set of cards and slightly different rules. I have been playing that, which is just the card game, and I like it. It's fun. What else can I even say about it? I do. Yeah, like the core of the game is the card mechanics and the card game, and like it is a fun, in my opinion, it is a fun card game. I'm not usually into like deck building games. I guess there's a lot of games that are deck builders, and usually when I hear someone describe a game that way, it turns me off. But I enjoyed it in Inscription, so maybe I should be a little more open-minded to it in the future.
I prefer deck building games like Minecraft.
The thing about it, I at some point I realized that, oh, actually more cards is bad. actually you kind of want less cards. Actually, like, my decks are like much better when like I try not to get any of the new cards that they offer me. When I like deliberately avoid them, my deck is more consistent and it's better, like almost all the time, which is a very sort of funny realization to have.
I think I learned that quite young when I had like Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
Sure.
And I thought, if I combined all of these boosters together and I have a huge deck, then there's no way I could lose.
I know that, like, yeah, in like Magic the Gathering, you don't want to have like more cards than the like minimum deck size. It's like, it's not good. I don't know. I guess I just didn't go into like a game like this assuming that would necessarily still be true, but it's still true. Yes. Anyway, thanks Solaru for the Steam key.
Yeah,
trying to think of what's the most I can say about it to recommend it without blowing it. I don't know.
It's like Among Us crossed with Elder Scrolls Online.
That's right.
That sounds great.
I've said enough. I've said too much. Anyway, that was my week. Was finishing my video and playing Inscription. And tomorrow's Halloween.
Tomorrow is Halloween. Happy Halloween from the past. 'Cause this is coming out after.
Right.
Yeah, when this comes out, it's already Christmas almost.
Oh my god.
Well, Thanksgiving.
Merry Christmas.
Oh, well, you guys don't have Thanksgiving.
No, we don't thank anybody.
No.
So this week, just yesterday, I did the gig. I did the thing I talked about.
Yes.
Playing the music.
The zone, right?
The Gabe gig.
The Gib.
the big Gib gig.
The big Gib gig.
Big gig.
Bib gig big.
The Gale
big
Jape
bib
Bale
gib
Gib
gig.
Dib. I played Wish You Were Here. I did the acoustic guitar on that. I did Dig a Pony with the Beatles. I played George Harrison lead guitar.
Wish You Were Here. Is that
guitar for
Oasis or is that the Beatles?
That's Pink Floyd.
Oh. Ugh.
You fool.
There's an Oasis. There's an Incubus song where the chorus goes, "I wish you were here," and I always, when everyone says "Wish You Were Here," I think of that song. But that song's, I don't even think that song's called "Wish You Were Here." It's just the line in the chorus.
I wish you were here drinking a beer.
Is that the original? I hope so.
No. Then I played fucking Black Magic Woman. It's the rhythm guitar for that, and then
you couldn't make that song today.
Huh?
You couldn't write that song today. I'll tell you.
What?
Cancel culture being how it's like and all.
No, Elon saved us.
I don't even understand.
Huh?
Elon saved us. Didn't you hear? We can say such things now on Twitter and make songs about it.
Oh, right. Yes.
And then thanks to
you can
Elon,
say Black Magic now.
I can sing Black Magic Woman. Yeah. Finally.
And
Anyway.
then I played Sympathy for the Devil, and I played the bongos, and then the guitar as well. I was very nervous the whole week leading up to it. I was shivering. I was shaking. I was
epic.
cold sweats, adrenaline. I was like, oh gee, I hope I don't mess up one note. I did mess up a note or two, but I didn't care. It doesn't matter. Once you're on stage, it's fine. Once you're on stage and the light is blinding you and you're just looking at your guitar and you're just sort of like doing your thing, you're like, yeah, I'm here. I'm just playing.
That's right.
It's fine. It's the having to wait and set up all the equipment and then wait for a few hours, and it was dreadful. I couldn't even get drunk because I was afraid that if I got a little bit too drunk, I would need to piss my pants on stage, and that's not what I wanted. So I didn't drink or eat
negatively
anything.
Affect your ability to perform.
It also would probably like chill me out, but
maybe.
I mean, everyone else was drinking.
Yeah, sure.
The performance
But yeah, it was
are
great.
scary.
It was a great little performance. I may upload it somewhere. My mum was there recording a bit on her phone, so it might have something to put on the Give and Take channel.
What did you end
But
up wearing?
Clothes. Oh yeah, because I was wondering about that. Yeah, I didn't want to go, like, I didn't want to be, like, drawing attention to myself. I just wore, like, just a shirt, low cut, like, woman's style, like, t-shirt. I don't know. It's just sort of like clothing.
I understand.
Just sort of clothing. Everyone was wearing clothing.
Just a purple shirt with no on it.
It wasn't like a big venue with like a lighting guy. It was like the basement of a pub, but it was a really nice pub, and they had like old oak tables and like miscellaneous chairs from various sort of eras, just sort of all in the same place.
That's cool.
And they had good beer,
Good
and
atmosphere.
it was nice. It got very hot. But now that's done, and I'm no longer ever going to go play music. Except until the next time.
Yeah. Good riddance.
Thank you to everybody who donated. I know at least 2 or 3 people went to the site. I think you can still do it. So I guess we'll put the thing in the description. But yeah, we raised, I think, over $2,000.
What's it for? Did you say it's for Alzheimer's?
Parkinson's,
excuse me.
Parkinson's charity event thing.
That's like
And
what
yeah,
Stalin had.
it was a really, really good night. The band was great. I was good as well. And I feel good about it.
Hell yeah.
God damn it.
Yes, Queen.
Day.
You're welcome.
Thanks. Thank you, everybody.
Slay.
I did slay.
Nice.
That's cool.
Yeah. Rad.
Glad it
Oh, and
went
I just got
wish
done
I
before-
could have gone.
Yeah, it
Maybe
would have been
next time.
cool.
Yeah.
And I guess the only other thing is Halloween decoration. I just carved the pumpkin. I carved the pumpkin and I gave it big eyelashes, like my new Impsona that I made.
Oh, I saw that. I
Right.
did see that.
I think I didn't see that. What's the?
I'm making
what's the
Twitter.
Impsona?
Have you heard or watched Hell of a Boss?
No.
It's by
I know of
Vivian
it.
Medrano, the person behind Has Been Hotel.
I've watched that.
Has Been Hotel
Isn't it
is-
set in the same world as Has Been Hotel?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Has Been Hotel is a show that has been, like, I don't know, more professionally funded and to be put on more professional, like, distributors, like something, Netflix, I don't even remember. But Hell of a Boss was a more independently funded by merch sales show set in the same universe with different characters. And I love it. And it's in its season 2 right now. And it's great. And I just decided to make an Impsona. Let me get that tweet.
I found it. It's good. I like
Thanks.
the horns a lot.
Yeah. It's basically like Homestuck, but you know, they're cooler looking. They're cooler looking designs than Homestuck trolls. I'll say
Really?
it.
Impossible.
I really like the black and white stripes. That is very appealing to me in any animal or creature or whatever.
Yes.
Wait
Yes.
a minute. Wait, I don't see it.
Oh,
There's like a theme park close
I'll
to where I live, where
just
they
post it.
made a spooky forest, and all they did basically was put up like a bunch of gravestones and also paint all the trees in like black and white stripes like this. And it's actually very spooky in that.
Yeah, that's cool and all, but let's talk about Reploids instead.
No.
Let's
talk
talk about
imps.
let's talk
Let's
about
Has
Reploids
Been Hotel.
and how they just got genocided.
Huh? What?
Let's talk about how they did a robot genocide in Mega Man Zero.
Wait, did I miss something on the news? Did something happen? Did they
No.
storm a robot factory? No. Oh, too bad.
No. Unfortunately, not yet. Okay. What were we talking about?
I don't know. Just sort of the things I've done this week is practicing for the gig, which is now done.
Right.
And I feel great having done
Good.
that.
Mm-hmm.
And Halloween's coming up, and
Oh,
Clarissa is getting close. Here's my Clarissa update.
give us the Clarissa update.
So I was struggling getting stuff done, but I forced myself to work harder, and I was doing like a work day. Like I was waking up and being like, okay, no distractions, nothing, no things, nothing.
That's pretty good.
Just not even like a podcast in the background. I know that there's like a sense that you can focus with music or a podcast. No, you really can't. Not when you're trying to create things. When you're doing monotonous work, yes, you can. But when you're trying to like come up with like a solution to a creative problem, like how does this character like move from this panel so that they're in this panel and like this, or what do they say here that's like not cringe? You can't you listen to anything. So I had no distractions at all.
I agree.
I'm fine with everything that is like. Whenever I work on something that doesn't involve language, I'm fine with listening to anything. But as soon as I have to write anything,
as I was going for like the page layout is what I'm getting to the very very near end of. I've been like just sort of like scribbling down a rectangle of some very like random size and being like, okay, so in this page, this thing has to happen. This character's here. I guess I'll draw them from below because like they're imposing right now and they've got a speech bubble. I need to fit a speech bubble in there for them to say something. What do they say? I have to think of something because if I end up sketching the page and not knowing what they say, I'll have to fill it with something that sucks. So I want to make sure I have something that's kind of good and that I can like tweak and make better. So I have to fill in the speech bubbles as I go and like sound effects and stuff. And I'm like, speed lines here. And I'm at the point now where it is at the very final part of the showdown where the winner is determined. There's only a few pages left, and then it's like the epilogue. What happens after? And then end.
I've been waiting for quite a while to see. I mean, I assume it's Clarissa versus what's the guy with the big hat's name?
The Bandit King.
The Bandit King. I assume. I've been waiting to see how their confrontation would shake out. So I'm happy to know that that's coming.
It is.
Is that going to be concluding the Clarissa story, or do you want to do more with her?
Oh, of course, I'm going to do more of that. This is, I mean, initially, this was supposed to be a short story for the competition, the Tezuka Awards manga competition. And I wrote a story that went far beyond what I could fit into, like, the 50-page limit.
Oh, Gib.
And so it's going to be probably, like, 150 to 200 pages at the end of the day, maybe.
I know. You won't have seen it yet, so this is a spoiler for you. But I wore the Lord of Ghosts pin in the lecture, and I shouted you out. I shouted out your website.
Oh, Pug, thank you.
Yeah. It's pretty epic.
Hell yeah.
Very spooky.
Just in time for Halloween. Yes.
Just in time for Halloween. Perfect. Yes. Very good. It's funny. I haven't drawn anything spooky this month.
Yeah, you have
really
so many spooky characters. I guess you had your 2 vampire girls.
Yes, I did.
Yeah, you're always drawing spooky. It's every day. Every day
is Halloween for me. Punk is not like she's like a puppy you buy on Christmas. It's not just for Halloween. Punk is forever.
You did have that Punk profile picture in the entire year, except Halloween or something.
She's a culture, not a costume.
Yes, exactly.
Very good.
Yeah, I don't feel like it's like more Punk of a month than it normally is. So I haven't really thought about like Halloween drawings. I should draw a little bit, just in my own time, just for fun.
I'm actually working on a kind of Halloween-y character right now.
Oh yeah.
I want to finish that before tomorrow, so I can post it and be in the season. Like a week ago, I came up with this character that is kind of a zombie girl, but she has a wasp larva living in her brain that is the actual person, and the girl's just like the suit, the body that the little lava pilots.
That's gross.
Hideous.
Yes. No, but it's like in a cute In a cute way, though.
In a cute way. He's got it's the cute kind of brain parasite.
Yes, exactly.
Oh my god.
Well, have you seen Futurama?
Have you seen
little brain slug?
Have you seen that it's like it's like a slug or a snail that has a worm.
I hate that image. I hate that. I
with
hate
it like with it like pulsating inside of its like eye stalks. Yeah, that's the worst. That's the worst.
I love that stuff.
It's kind of cool looking, but like when I actually think about it, it's like it's like the most horrifying thing I've ever seen.
It's the most existential sort of horrifying. Like it's using the slug as a suit to perform like acts of gaslighting of other bugs or whatever it was doing. What was it doing? It was like pretending to be a type of thing so that something would come over to it, and so it could grasp them or poison them or something. I didn't want to look at it any longer. I left immediately.
I don't even remember.
I
thought it was just like eating it from the inside, or it moves the snail to some place where like a nutrient rich place to die or something like that.
The caption was something like using like the slug to mimic some action the slug or snail could perform, or I don't know. It was doing something that was like gaslighting the birds to come and eat it so that they could kill the birds. I don't like it. I didn't like it.
Wait, is it like the hope is that the bird will eat it and then the parasite will be inside the bird?
I don't know. I didn't read it properly.
Okay.
So some intrepid explorer can go find that post and puke and then read it.
I just posted Maggie. That's her name. Like
that's
maggot.
A good name for that.
The idea was that like Maggie's just like a.
Does
really
she have like an open
zombie.
Cranium?
No, it's just like what do you call it? It's like a door. She can open that if she has to leave the body for maintenance or something.
Okay, I see.
Okay, so this is more like a flesh mech than it is a person.
It's Ratatouille. Kind of. It's Ratatouille. It's
actually cheesy. I think commented that.
It's more realistic. What if Ratatouille was real?
It's Magagoody.
Magagoody.
I was also kind of thinking of Attack on Titan when I drew it. Like they have like big flesh monsters that they sit in.
Why are things so gross?
And wait, do you know about like wasp larvae and what they do to caterpillars and stuff?
Jesus.
They fuck them up.
I know some things about that. I know that like, they put a fucking worm in their body and it eats them from the inside or pilots them like a mech or whatever.
Yeah, more or less. Like they release some kind of chemical in them that like makes them behave in a certain way and lets them grow to a space. And then the larvae that are inside tell the caterpillar to make one of its cocoons to protect the larva. So it's literally like brain controlled to protect the offspring of this wasp. And then the wasp larvae feed on the caterpillar and leave it behind.
Makes the cocoon, huh? That's very
interesting.
I wonder if like insects have, because they're so small, their brains are like very simple, like electronic pulses. They have like 5 buttons, and the little maggots can push the little buttons. It's like turn left, turn right. Very simple to operate. If they tried to take over a human, they'd be like, fuck, this is too complicated.
Well, they made a whole book series about that. It's called The Animorphs. Perhaps you've heard of it.
I haven't. Only there was a lecture or something to watch.
If only someone could explain in painstaking detail what happens in the Animorphs. I was going to say, did you know, I learned this recently, that like figs exist because like wasps like lay larvae in them, like a fig fruit has to have like a wasp egg laid in it. It has to like hatch like a clutch of wasps.
What?
Yeah, it's like I read this somewhere.
They have like
I think it was real
relationship with wasp.
I vaguely know what you're talking about. I thought it was like the wasp goes to fertilize the plant, and then it gets trapped inside, and the plant eats the wasp, and then the wasp is part of the plant. And when you eat a fig, you're eating a dead wasp or something.
I don't think so. I don't think figs would be like carnivorous plants.
If they're cannibal plants or meat-eating figs.
Well,
everything's so fucking gross.
Well, here's an image that purports. to explain it. Yeah, I think this is just part of like the life cycle of the fig, which is like wasps basically like pollinate it.
I was kind of right. The pollen-laden wasp enters the circuitous root of the fig, lays eggs inside fig, and then flower ovaries contain wasp larvae.
So it's kind of just any pollination of a plant, but with the extra step that the insect also leaves its larva in there. It's neat.
Oh, so it is... No, I was kind of right. The babies, they hatch, but they try to dig out, and they can't get out, and they die.
Wait,
yeah. Like they're still sort of in there, or like their bodies kind of like become like part of the fruit. Or something.
See, this is why I do not eat fruits.
I've eaten a fig like once.
I've eaten a fruit once.
I've eaten a fruit, I swear. You ever eat a pomelo?
Oh, I love pomelo.
What? Fuck you.
Yeah,
Pomelos
no, they're
suck.
great. They're amazing.
No, they're not. You're stupid.
Okay.
Pomelos are just worse grapefruits.
So, like, you hate tomatoes and you hate pomelos. I'm sorry.
I don't hate tomatoes, but I wouldn't just eat a tomato whole. I wouldn't just like eat one by itself.
I love tomatoes.
Ugh. They're not
Have you ever had a tomato salad with like basil and mozzarella?
With like mozzarella cheese? Yeah.
That's basically
sure.
eating whole tomatoes.
But then you have the mild flavor of the mozzarella, kind of cutting against these sort of like acidity of the tomato. And that's good. But like, I don't know. I know some people will just eat a tomato. And
I'm one of those. I like that. Also, pomelo is great because it's one of these fruits that really gives you something for your money. Like, it's...
A pomelo?
Yeah, because they're giant. And you can fill like an entire lunchbox just with pomelo.
You are a pretender. You've never eaten a pomelo, because if you did, you would know that it's all rind. You open up the pomelo and it's just like all white, fluffy rind. There's just a little bit of fruit in the middle.
I think there might be different kinds of pomatoes, and you might have like had a bad one.
No,
maybe you got
like
that shit American pomelos.
No, my American pomelos are the best in the world, even though I hate them.
No, there's a lot of the white stuff in them, but there's still like a lot of flesh too.
Okay, these pictures that I'm finding do have significantly less rind than I remember.
Oh, pomelo is a fucking app, you piece of shit. Stop making apps named after things.
Yeah.
I don't know. Pomelos are just, to me, they're just a grapefruit, but they don't taste like anything. They have less flesh and they don't taste
like sour, bitter, sweet. I don't know.
I guess.
Sometimes they're bad, but most of the time they're not.
In my opinion, they just straight up improved the pomelo by crossbreeding it to create the grapefruit. The grapefruit is perhaps my favorite fruit, and so I owe the pomelo a great debt for being a part of its genesis. However, now that it's done me that favor, it can fuck off forever and die. I never want to see one again.
For some reason,
there is a lot of
we have its
superior
superior descendants.
Yeah, that's a bit much.
Okay, well, get off my podcast.
I think citrus fruits are weirdly inconsistent in taste. That's why I don't like buying them usually. Like sometimes I get the same bag of like oranges and they're great, and next time they're bad.
Sometimes sometimes when I eat a mango, certain mangoes, occasionally like one bite of the mango will have like a weird sort of like pine tree kind of like floral sort of flavor to it.
Interesting.
And it's not the whole mango. It's just like one little bits here and there, and it's just not every mango. It's just certain mangoes. Why did I get on this subject? You know what? I said pomelo. I didn't even mean to say pomelo. I meant to say persimmon.
What's that?
It looks like a tomato, but it doesn't taste like one, and you eat it with a spoon.
Is it? Are these those black tomatoes?
No. Here they look like this.
Oh, actually, we call them khaki. I don't know why, but we do.
Oh yeah, they're like more fleshy.
They're sweet. They're sweet like I don't know what they taste like. They don't taste like a tomato. I don't know. I had one once and it was okay.
My favorite tomato is the beef tomato, or whatever the fuck that is.
beefsteak.
The big beefy ones, that you can.
Yeah, with all flesh.
Is that
with more flesh and less juice?
I guess that's what they are.
A beefsteak tomato or a good beefsteak tomato. It's like instead like a regular tomato, you cut it open and it's sort of got these like chambers inside that are full of like goo.
Yeah.
A beefsteak tomato doesn't really have much of that.
Yes.
So it's ideal for slicing and putting on a sandwich. That's also my favorite kind of tomato because the only context I really particularly like tomatoes is a slice of them.
But
on
what
a
about
sandwich.
like sweet cherry tomatoes? They're great too.
I don't like them. I don't like
them.
I don't like eat them.
Cherry
like a snack or
tomatoes
anything.
are pretty good in like a tomato sauce with a bunch of other stuff. I don't like raw, like cold cherry tomatoes just because of it's too much moisture. If I wanted a drink, I would have a drink. You know what I mean?
No, I could eat like a whole cucumber just instead of drinking a glass of water. I think that's great.
I knew my family would eat would snack on cherry tomatoes, and I just thought they were gross. I don't like them.
There's this.
Fascinating.
I don't like them.
Good, like it's very very simple Italian recipe of beef tomatoes in olive oil, and that's it. You just eat beef tomatoes with olive oil, and it's great. Actually, you don't need to do anything. Maybe a bit of seasoning, a bit of salt, but like, I had that once. I was like, how is this not a normal thing we do all the time? Like when you're talking about like, I'm too lazy to cook a good meal. Just get a tomato and cut it up, put oil on it. I'm
not too lazy to cook a good meal.
I am.
Depends on the meal, I guess. I discovered a new food that I love, but I like it too much, so I can't get it anymore. Because if I get it, I will just eat all of it. And it's unacceptable. The last time this happened, it was nuts. I decided I can't eat nuts anymore because I will just eat the whole bag. The new one is Wegmans Bacon Rise pizzas. Wegmans Bacon Rise frozen pizzas.
You know, nuts were a better idea. Because at least kind of healthy.
Nuts will damage your colon.
I guess if you eat a whole bag, yeah.
Wegmans Bacon Rise frozen pizzas. They're huge. They're giant. They cost $4, and I can't buy them. They're like $4.99.
Oh, bake and rise. I see. I was trying to think what the bacon.
Not bacon rise. No. It's like more than a whole day's calories for $4.99, which is good.
Whole day's calories for a family of 5, and you have 7 of them every day.
But it's not good. It's good for the money, but it's not good for me because I don't want to eat that many calories in a day. So it's here's what I should do. To be scrupulous. I should like undereat one day, and then use those calorie surplus that I saved up. and use them on the next day so I can eat more the next day so I can make a Wegmans Bacon Rise pizza, and that can be my food for that day.
Go on a diet for like a month and then eat pizza for a month.
I'll go on a diet for a whole month, and then I'll spend the next month I'll eat nothing but Bacon Rise pizzas every day. It's genius. It's calories in, calories out. The math checks out. I'm sorry.
And after that you'll probably be sick of it and you never have to do it again.
You know what? You could take this further. You could say the first half of my life I will not eat anything, and the second half I will gorge myself constantly.
Yeah, you know, the first part of your life is not like you don't need much food in there. Like you're small. You just stay small.
Get that sun in you. Drink some water, and then eat when you're like 40.
That's right.
It's the circle of life, baby.
That's how I'm gonna raise my kid. Speaking of pizza, I left my favorite pizza behind in Canada because I came back. And
your favorite pizza?
Yeah,
was in Canada.
It was in Canada, actually, like in downtown, right under the CN Tower. Like there's a little pizza place. I think it's called Scatterbush or something. And they have these pizzas that, like, of course, like, I mean, it's like a kind of nice Italian bar restaurant thing. And they have these pizzas that are very properly baked, but they have like handmade, freshly made mozzarella on them. So there's a guy in a bag. You can see how he like like twists and like pulls the mozzarella and turns into balls and stuff.
Pretty nice.
That was great. His name was Remy. We got told that was his name, so that we know that he's the rat from Ratatouille, actually. And it was just like a very like kind of simple like mozzarella cheese pizza, but it had like sun-dried tomato bits on it and an olive like in basil oil over it, like just a few sprinkles. That was so delicious. I don't know. We went there like 3 times in the 3 months I was in Canada, and I don't know when I'm ever gonna go back.
There's a pretty good like slightly, it's not like super fancy, but it's a little bit fancy pizzeria kind of near me, and I've had their pizza like twice and it's very good. But they were at RadCon 3 we got a bunch of pizzas, and it might have been my suggestion, actually. I might be an idiot because someone suggested pineapple and ham, and I didn't like it. But this place, I got a pineapple and pepperoni pizza at this fancy place, and it was actually really great, and I really liked the pineapple. And the difference was that it was cooked better. It was cooked more thoroughly, and the pineapple sort of like kind of melted and caramelized a little bit into the cheese, and it made it so much better. The Domino's fucking raw pineapple chunks on top of your pizza, terrible, nightmare. These other guys know how to do it.
Yeah, I don't really eat frozen pizza or like cheap fast food pizza anymore if I can avoid it. Like either a restaurant or like handmade. We do that in our apartment sometimes, like handmade, make the dough and sauce and stuff. That's also good. We have a pizza stone in our oven.
My dad used to sometimes make pizza, and it's funny in hindsight because like, I don't know. It was so I didn't really understand like why it was so different. Like it bore almost no resemblance to like, pizza you would buy from a pizzeria. And now I've watched some cooking videos. I've watched like Adam Ragusia's like how to make a New York style pizza. And now I understand, there's actually a lot of like very specific processes that go into making the kind of pizza you get from like a pizzeria. You kind of can't just like fuck around in your kitchen and make it. So no wonder. I mean, it was still good. I still liked pizza night.
There's very different kinds of doughs that people
I think, isn't it like mostly the oven that's the hard part to get right? Like the immense heat that you need to get like the right crispy, the blackening of the bread or whatever.
Yeah, that's a big part of it. Also the kind of cheese. The whole fat mozzarella is like kind of hard to find.
Although the pizza stone makes it a little easier because it's like it gets really hot and burns it from the underside.
Oh yeah, and a pizza stone or a paddle, right? Like you can't, if you just cook it on a baking sheet like my dad did, it's not going to cook the same way.
Yeah.
But it's fine. No, I'm not complaining. It was still.
Now I'm hungry.
I'm sorry, Dad. Listen. This is the food cast for some reason. Did I mention that I'm making Halloween gummies? I'm making Halloween gummy worms.
Oh, you haven't.
Making some orange. Oh yeah, I have them laying out on a paper towel right now to sort of like dry out so I can put them into a cup together and they won't all become glued together. I tried to make orange and black ones. I didn't have like enough food coloring to make them like black, so the black ones just came out brown. But you know what? It's fine. They look good with the orange, so it's all right. It's spooky. I don't know.
It's spooky. It's worms, but they're pumpkin worms.
Ooh, worms like what will devour you in the grave. Ooh.
Are you two doing anything for Halloween? Like going to a party?
I think
trick and treating.
I think people might be. I think people are hanging out at Munchie's house for some kind of Halloween thing. I think I'll probably be there, most likely.
Yeah, I'm gonna go see someone, a friend, and at home we're gonna decorate and stuff. I don't really do like parties anyway, so it's just gonna be a chill no scary tonight, just a bit of stuff. I guess I'm gonna wear my goth getup. I'm gonna wear my full goth getup that I have now, with the corset and everything.
I just remembered. I think the Munchie place, I think they're doing like scary movies, and I hate scary movies. That's not true. Sometimes I like them, but I think more often I don't like them.
I like them except when I'm alone, and I'm all alone in my apartment this whole weekend, including Halloween. And I'm like, there's this new Netflix show, like Guillermo del Toro's Cabinet of Curiosities or something. It's like an horror anthology, and I watched the first episode and it was pretty good. And I want to watch more, but then I was alone. I'm like,
that's exactly
maybe
the noise.
Not. Yeah. Maybe I watch it when everyone's back and Halloween's over.
Yes. I
liked The Witch. I did not like Midsommar. I did not like Drag Me to Hell.
Like, and you didn't like it, or were you like grossed out or too horrified to enjoy it?
I thought it was a extremely well. Those are three very well made movies that two of them I just didn't enjoy. They gave me. I had the experience that the director wanted me to have, and it was not an experience that I appreciated having. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. I guess I get it.
I like the feeling of being like scared or tense when in a scene in a film, but like I don't really like sitting down knowing that I'm about to feel tense. I don't put on a scary movie for that experience. I find video games are way better because like it's not just that something's going to happen, something's going to go boo at you. It's that something's going to go boo at you if you turn the corner, and you have to be the one to turn the corner, and then you'll scream loudly and you throw the controller across the room. Like that feels fun.
Video games.
And I don't know, watching a film, I'm just sort of like, yeah, I'll pause it and I'll leave. I mean, I don't need to finish it.
Yeah. Have you guys seen like what's he called? Jacob Geller YouTube videos, video essays.
I hate that guy.
I think I know.
You hate that guy?
No, I don't really hate him, but I don't like his speech pattern.
Did he have that one video where it's like the thumbnail was they weren't disabled, and then it was like,
no, that's not Patrick Willem. That's and shit. I know who you're talking about.
I never clicked on it.
I remember that video, but I don't know who it was.
It's the guy who did that video about Harry Potter and the Cursed Child.
Everybody did that.
Oh,
there's so many video essays on everything. Everybody and anybody could have done everything.
Yeah, that guy's not really interesting. But Jacob Geller, I've been watching his videos for the past 2 days because they're kind of spooky. I don't know. They have a weird atmosphere, and he keeps talking about horrifying existential things. He released a new video about like deep sea creatures and like the stories that people tell about like krakens and horrifying things, and he often combines that with like little snippets about indie video games about horrifying things, and that's cool. I like that he always includes like literature and video games and different kinds of art and all kinds of mediums in the stories.
I know this. Yeah, I watched the one he did about the Simpsons intro.
Oh yeah, that one's also good.
Yeah, he's all right. It's just sort of like, yeah, is
Austin McConnell. Austin McConnell is the they weren't disabled guy.
But yeah, this guy Jacob Geller. There's something about like, I don't know, heady topics in a thumbnail that I'm like, oh my god, this is gonna be so like epic, and I'm like, well, that's why I don't want to click on it. Like it's like, oh, the big talk about the big thing, very serious. I'm like, oh god, you know what? Fuck this. I'm going back to Germa.
Jacob Geller's cadence speaking is like it's almost like he's doing like a spoken word poem in the way that he's like so maudlin in his delivery, and I find it really annoying.
I have no
pure
hate
taste
towards this sort of style. It's just sort of, I don't know. I feel like I've gone past. I've grown out of enjoying taking videos seriously.
I kind of get what you mean. I think I get it.
Yeah, I don't really like religiously follow any like YouTuber anymore.
I don't mean to shit on your YouTube choices. I watch lots of stupid crap that I'm ashamed of. So it's fine.
Yeah. No hate.
What's the worst? What's the worst thing I watched?
The Mega Man lecture.
Yeah, that sucked.
That sucked. Didn't even have one frame.
I wonder if my what's the word? My divisive lefty politics will enrage the existing Mega Man YouTuber community. I wonder if Reploid Revo will be mad that that I'm against the cops. I doubt it, but that would be really funny. There's a guy who has a channel called Reploid Revo, and he makes Mega Man videos, and he's fine and all, but I don't know. He's got to be a libertarian, and I know that because his OC is yellow and black, just like the Gadsden flag. So that's the tell. I'm joking. Yellow is just a sus color. It's just a sus color. I'm sorry.
I'm trying to think of any yellow characters. Like, I don't
know. There aren't any. There aren't any. I'm sorry.
April O'Neil.
Bumblebee. Pikachu. Pedophiles, all of them.
What? I missed what you said.
They said they're all pedophiles.
Oh no, Pikachu!
Pikachu, how could you?
That's why it's been with Ash.
It was too much power.
Ash is only 10 years old.
You know, he had too much. He had too much unchecked power and too much access to kids. You know what? It's not a good combination. You know, we should have done something.
I mean, Ash has been a kid for like 20 years, so
yeah. And who do you think kept him that way? It's Pikachu.
Yeah. You know what? It makes a lot of sense when you think about it. Oh boy. There's only. I saw another Mega Man video. It was posted like a couple weeks ago, and it was like every Mega Man game, but it was only an hour. Pitifully, the video was only an hour long, and it only covered the regular Mega Man games, like 1 through 11. So like that's not even that many games, bro.
Yeah, why would you
even bother? I forget who posted that one, but I saw that
to put in like a reasonable amount of work and not take half a year.
I started listening to it and I was like, oh no, he's saying some of the things that I said. Oh no, some of the facts that he's repeating are the same facts that I repeated. Oh fuck! I couldn't keep going. I was gonna be sick. I had to turn it off. I couldn't take it.
That feel when somebody has also talked about media that was public.
What are you?
Could have been seen.
You can't review this game. I already made a review of that game on my side, on my part of the channel, on my.
Don't do it, critic. It's too bad. Don't do it.
No, you'll cause a time paradox. It's called. The one I saw is called A Journey Through the Entire Mega Man Classic Series by Gilly the Kid. Beat me to the punch by 2 weeks. But it's okay, because mine's bigger.
Yeah, somebody asked me recently if I wanted to like make a podcast or something about the new Tolkien show. And I felt similarly that like this has been so thoroughly covered by now. Like everyone's made a podcast about this. Yeah. Do I have anything to say about this that like other people haven't said better?
It is just sort of like the quality and quantity of stuff talking about media on YouTube is quite high. So like if somebody has talked about it, there's a chance that like many people have talked about it, and somebody has done a lot of work and put a lot of effort to make a really good video.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, I mean, fuck, what the hell can I add to this?
Oh, I would say that like the thing that would drive me to say yes, you should definitely do a podcast about it is if like you were hearing what people were saying about the show and you like disagreed with it, or you thought that like the discourse was lacking.
Hmm.
And
Or
you
just-
wanted, yeah.
Maybe also like recapping the discourse, maybe like going back and showing the different
Yeah, I
sides.
mean-
Oh my god! Just like the Give and Take weekly analysis roundup. What were they called?
Analysis assemblage.
Analysis assemblage. Yes, you got to do that, but for Tolkien podcasters.
Oh god. Oh
Rings
no.
of Power. Yeah.
I really don't have time for that.
No.
I'm a
I
full-time
stopped doing that
student.
because I had to like watch people's reviews, and I was like, you know what, this sucks. I don't want to do this. I don't want to go onto the My Little Pony brony fucking reviewer subreddit and find all of the brony reviews of the episode and look through all of them and being like, did anybody have anything interesting to say? I guess this person did. Fuck.
But isn't that what you had to do to make those videos? Is find
It
the
is.
reviews and watch them? Yeah.
I had to find
where
them
she
because
stopped.
like that's it was just the easiest place because everyone was posting there.
I think
Yeah.
there was a
I just came
person-
across too many people who were very boring.
I think there was a
I mean,
person
yeah.
who did that with the like entire AniTube, like watching all anime analysis videos that would come out in a week and making a video about that.
Oh, are you talking about Coon something?
Is it
Caribou
Coon?
Coon. Caribou
yeah,
Coon.
Yeah. I
Yes.
remember watching that years ago, maybe.
I think he's still doing it.
I don't know. There aren't any anime YouTubers left, like that I watched.
Are you?
I used to watch
okay,
them.
that you watch.
Okay, no, sure, yeah. I mean, I think Jeff is still around and does his thing.
Giga
every week.
isn't Giga around?
Giga is around, and Giga is part of the podcast that they do.
Trash.
Does he still
Yeah.
make like anime videos?
I probably. I
I've
think
never
so.
I've never watched Giga ever, so I don't know.
I liked his comedy a few years ago. They were pretty funny, but also a little stupid.
Sure. As comedy sometimes is. Fuck, what were we talking about? How did we get on this?
We could talk about tomatoes. Let's go back.
We have
That's the
to
most
go
important
back.
topic. Wait, I could talk
What
about
if you carved a tomato for Halloween? How difficult would that be?
if it's one of these big, meaty, beefy ones, that could work.
You put a little candle in it.
Delicious.
You just put some gasoline in it, set it alight.
Mm.
Fire like billows out the top.
I'll turn
I
my
could-
house into a jack-o'-lantern by just lighting a fire in the middle of it and letting the light
Wait,
come out
isn't
the
it
windows.
already a jack-o'-lantern? It's like a hollow thing with holes and
Lit
light
from the
inside.
Yeah. When you think about it.
The doors, the mouth, and yeah.
When you think about it, all of us are jack-o'-lanterns because we ourselves are all hollow things, but we are lit.
Wait, are you glowing from the inside?
Lit from the inside by the light of the Holy Spirit.
Well,
For why we
talk
hollow.
about yourself. I don't have a Holy Spirit.
The Holy
If
Spirit
you,
is
if you
based.
swallow a torch, or like your phone when your torch is on,
No,
then
listen.
you'll have a light from inside.
The Holy Spirit is based. It gives you buffs if you're an apostle.
What if
Alright.
you're not an apostle? What if
Well,
you're a civilian?
Why would you not want to be an apostle?
I don't know.
Okay,
What's the
wait a minute.
benefit?
I'm sorry. I just looked it up. I just went to Google and I went to the Wikipedia page for Pentecost. And okay, it starts with Pentecost, also called Whit Sunday, but I like dyslexia spoonerismed reading it, and I read it as Pentecost, also called Shit Wednesday.
I love Shit Wednesday.
Whit Sunday, or its counterpart, Shit Wednesday.
We call it Pfingsten. And I have a week off at Pfingsten, which is nice.
Really?
Yeah.
A week
Like,
off for fucking Pentecost?
Yeah, from university. They say it's like for school trips and stuff. But then I went on a school trip one year, and it wasn't that week, and I missed a week of school. And I'm like, why did you do this? Why did you not put it in that week that we have off anyways?
Listen. Okay. On the in Acts 2:1, the events that are celebrated at Pentecost. Listen. Here's what happened. Be amazed by the power of the Holy Spirit. There is a mighty rushing wind, and tongues as of fire appear. The gathered disciples were filled with the Holy Spirit and began to speak in other tongues as the Spirit gave them utterance. What else?
When you speak in tongues, is it like the Tasmanian devil?
Yes. The Spirit. If the Holy Spirit, it will give you buffs. It will give you fiery tongues, and you can talk different languages. So beat that. You can't.
What languages?
Just other ones.
What's the normal one?
Probably like
the common
Aramaic.
speech.
Probably like Aramaic, I guess. Right? Was what Jesus spoke. So yeah. So maybe they started speaking
Christian.
English. They started speaking Christian, aka modern American English, and they wrote the new what's the new version of the Bible called? Like the
Testament?
The NV like the NV
Adams.
No, shut up. Shut up. The New International Version. They wrote the New International Version. This was, they skipped the Greek. That's all fake. Hebrew, fake. Aramaic, fake. Okay, that's all. That's my joke.
Good job, man.
Let's move on. Let's move on really, really fast. But I can't because I didn't do anything else this week, so...
I could talk about what my life's been recently, which is distressing.
Go for it. Oh dear.
It's the world. No, it's not that bad. It's just, new semester starts and I'm full of ambition. I want to do so many things, but I also get so many new homeworks and projects from school that it's those first few weeks where I don't have that much to do, but I want to do so many things. And it's a bit overwhelming, and I don't know where to start. But also, it's cool. I don't know.
What are you working on? For example.
I have, in general, I have a bunch of presentations I have to do in different classes on English things, like Cowboy Bebop. And also, I have an art project that I have to do this semester. I already did one last semester of the kind where I have to have an exhibition at the end. Like we do a big group exhibition in a gallery as a course, and we kind of have completely free range on what we want to do there. And that's neat. But last semester I kind of overdid it, and I did 6 big, full detailed backgrounds illustrations that took me way too long. And I neglected my other courses, and that shouldn't happen again. So at the end, I was like, okay, I have to do this course again next semester, but next time I will only do one drawing. That's enough. Some people only did one painting. It's fine. I really don't have to do that much. But then the semester starts, and I'm like, what if I made a whole comic? What if I made a whole short animation film?
So you're overloading yourself.
Yeah, I'm fighting. I'm fighting against it.
Is the goal to get a good grade, or is the goal to make something that you want to make? Okay.
Yeah, it's really doing something that I'm happy with, and also that it doesn't take too much time away from other things that I have to do. I have 4 different presentations and 1 exam and this art project, and I also want to do my private art, of course, and maybe commissions. By the way, commission me. I need money. Help. And
yeah,
it's kind of crazy. One of the other things that I want to do is I want to finally get into making comics properly. I tried it before. I made. I mean, it's not that I tried it. I made comics. I made like a whole chapter of my comic Never Forest, but that was like 2 years ago, and it sucks now. I look at it and I hate it, and I don't want to touch it again.
That's how it goes.
It's just, I was really proud of it back then, and now I look at the faces and I'm like, no.
Yeah, well, that's what do you call it? That's
improvement, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so. That's artistic growth for you.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, nothing. I mean, I don't know if you wanted to do a second chapter. There's nothing wrong with like the first pilot episode looking rough or whatever.
Yeah,
but I mean,
I was actually thinking
you need to stick to it.
Yeah, I was thinking of like maybe reusing that idea in the future and making something different with it, because the story also wasn't that special or great.
I found that a lot of like long-running webcomics start as an obvious, like, this is not supposed to be a long-term project. Haha, I'm just drawing, whatever. And then they slowly realize that this can become bigger, and they start to like, improve their art and become more serious. And so chapter 1 looks completely different from like chapter 50.
Yeah.
And that's fine, because, the only reason comics were so like rigidly like well done from the first chapter is because there's a rigorous like approval process before anything gets published in like old physical print media. And on webcomics you can just make something and throw it out there.
Yeah.
So there's no problem continuing there. I mean, the beginning of Clarissa is going to look a lot worse than the ending, based on just the 2 years it's been since I drew that. I guess almost 2 years.
Yeah,
and that's okay.
Yeah,
it's just it just sucks when a starting point when you want to send someone the beginning of your comic, but that part is like the worst part. It's like, I don't know. I wish I could start with a bang. But well, whatever.
It's better to make it finished and then figure out how to do that.
Yeah.
Than it is to not, continue. I mean, unless you really don't want to. But like,
I worked on other
I feel like
ideas.
The problem of like people going to chapter 1 and being like, this doesn't look very good, is a lesser problem than like not finishing things.
That's the challenge. I haven't really. I worked on like 3 comics, I guess, so far. I made Never Forest, just like the pilot that had no planning and was just like 10 pages long, and it sucked and I threw it away. Then I put more planning into Never Forest proper, and that like was like 30-40 pages. Took me quite a while to draw, and I don't really like it anymore. And then I have Midnight Mermaid, which is still ongoing, I guess. It's a comic I made with Asha. I wrote and she drew the characters, and I drew backgrounds in the second chapter. But that one, just like I haven't really gotten to it. Like we published the first chapter I think in 2020, and the second chapter more than a year later. And I don't know when the third chapter is gonna be. It's gonna take too long. That's a problem. I don't know.
I've been having quite randomly, without really meaning to, I've been having some like champion related world building ideas lately. Thank you. I'm glad that's exciting for you. I've been
it's cool that you want to make more lectures and videos, but I'm like, I don't like your comics. Go make more comics too, please.
Yeah. Well, check out my new Patreon page, or I'll just tell you what it says. As I say on there, like I do want to make more lectures, but like I'm not gonna stop doing like comics and stuff.
That's great.
I don't know if I'd sort of like, I don't know. My hope is that like, okay, the lectures are kind of a hit. People like them. So if I can like split my time between like do those sometimes, and then as like my sort of side thing, do like comics and stuff. Like that would be fine and great. But the what was I saying? Shit. Fuck.
Champion idea.
I guess I didn't really have anything else. I don't want to go into details about them.
Okay.
But I'm not gonna, I don't know when I'll actually get around to drawing it, but I've just had some like thoughts cross my mind about like, what if it was like that? What if that was going on? I wrote down some notes about it.
I feel very inexperienced in storytelling, and so it's really hard for me to like go back to something I wrote years ago, and I'm like, this all sucks. This is all boring. Why did I do this?
It's hard.
I was listing like in the intro paragraph to the new Patreon. I was listing like projects I've done in the past, and I left the champion off because I only listed things that I completed. So I didn't list like the Winnie the Pooh videos or anything. I didn't list Beastcapades, even though I
consider Vapors finished.
Well, Vapors was never gonna be. It was always just gonna be like vignettes, and I did 3 complete vignettes. So yeah, I would consider each Vapors story to be sort of its own complete thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Still need the physical release of the third one, though.
Yeah, at some point, I guess I might as well. Although now that I'm basically done working on the Mega Man lecture, it means I have to get back to finishing up I have to go back to the nightmare that was sorting out the Slime and Punishment book Kickstarter. So I have to stop playing Inscription and start. I have to finish drawing the cover. I never finished drawing the cover. Ugh. Yeah.
There's just so much stuff.
Yeah, that's what
so much crap.
I literally had kind of a crisis yesterday because there's so much stuff I want to do.
Yeah.
I also have this like completely different project that I came up with like this year. That was my last big art project for the exhibition in the summer. Mm-hmm. And it's the Draconic Drugstore. I posted these illustrations on
with the spider man.
Yeah.
Is he a guy man? Girl, is he a girl? I don't remember.
Non-binary, more or less. Collective spiders.
Yeah, you know what? That makes sense.
Their name is Jitter. And it's supposed to be this kind of like goofy, wacky cast of like monster characters that live in this drugstore where they cure horrible, fantastic diseases. And it's supposed to be like this kind of mashup of like fantasy and like modern life and aesthetics. And also the thing that I specifically like, getting fantasy creatures and designing them with like natural animals in mind, or like different like natural aesthetics. That is just, I think that's neat. So so Jitter is specifically designed after the African social spider, which is a spider that lives in giant colonies and makes big like web constructions. I was like, oh, spiders living in a social group, let's make them a hive mind and have them inhabit a puppet. And
I saw something on Twitter the other day, and it was about a spider that builds like an effigy of itself.
A what? What's that?
It builds like a statue of a spider.
What?
Out of like debris. Yeah.
Effigy?
If you could link that sounds amazing.
Why would it do this? Is it lonely?
Maybe like
nobody knows. Here.
Is it like a body pillow?
What?
Yeah, it's lonely for a spider.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, this was the tweet that I saw, and I get all my science facts from Twitter users who I don't recognize.
It's the best source.
And even though my internet is perfectly fine to handle this call, Discord is having a really hard time sending a text-based Twitter link. It's really struggling with all those bits. So you're just gonna have to wait. You're just gonna. There it goes.
Nobody knows why the spider in the Philippines does this.
Maybe it's like a scarecrow in the same way that you would put a scarecrow to scare crows away. It's like a spider, like there's a spider.
Exactly.
It wants to attract things to its web.
It
Why
wants
would
to
it do
find
this?
masochist flies.
Oh God.
Maybe there's like
I'm
spiders
sorry.
who steal webs, and he's like, "This is mine. There's already a spider here, so you can't take my web. I'm gonna go for a walk."
It might be some like partner attraction thingy. Like
Like the person who owns this web is huge. Look at that spider. I'm gonna go say hello.
Oh, you know, that might actually be it. If like male spiders look for specifically like the largest female spiders because they are the healthiest or something, maybe like smaller female spiders will create this big fake spider to attract males.
You know
Or
what?
something like that.
I don't know why it's so fascinating to me, but they've got the number of legs correct. Spiders can count.
That's what I looked at too. I was like, wait, does it know how many legs a spider had? And I counted. Like, yes, it has 8 legs.
It has 8 legs.
You know how
Yeah.
many legs you have. Like,
Yeah, but like
Yeah, but
spiders,
I'm a human. I can count to 2.
and also like, I mean, I guess it must be an instinctual thing. It's just it's so funny. Like it's humanizing the spider to me. It's like a little sculptor.
I'm sorry.
I know what a spider
That's-
looks like from above,
that's
so I'm going to
absolutely
make one.
fascinating, and I will probably incorporate that into Jitter's personality. Maybe Jitter can make decoy spider, or like doubles of themselves. That would be cool.
In one of the tweets below it, they linked to like an article, and I'm embarrassed to admit that I did a double take at the name of the island that the spider lives on. I'm really sorry.
Oh.
It's okay. It's
Okay,
just a
thank
color.
you. Forgive me.
It's-
Yeah, true.
It's just
It's
a color in like Spanish or something.
Exactly. Anyway, I just thought this was really weird. Yeah, that was the first thing I was like, because someone replied like, "Oh my God, the spider knows what it looks like," and I'm like,
Yeah, it has a sense of
knows that-
self. Like that's crazy.
Yeah,
Just a little guy.
because it's not like, you know,
Hmm.
they train elephants to like paint pictures of themselves, but like the elephant doesn't like know that it's painting itself. Like they train the elephant to do like a series of brush strokes that sort of end up looking like an elephant. The elephant is not consciously being like, this is what I look like and I'm going to paint myself. But this is like, the spider
doesn't
understands.
either, I don't think.
You don't think so?
No, it's probably just like with anything. Like, I mean, spiders are able to build beautiful webs that look super symmetric and accurate. And stuff like that. And there's like I don't know, paradise birds who make weird, interesting patterns in the sand for their mates.
Well, that's sort of an instinctual.
Yeah.
Like, but like I don't know why a spider would instinctually know that if they wanted to build a facsimile of themselves, they would do 8 legs with a circle.
What if that's a bit of a coincidence or something? Like,
I mean,
what if they just like follow their web pattern because it looks like it's in the middle of their web, and like the legs might just be like placed on.
Well, there's clearly more than 8 struts.
The web I don't think. Yeah, the web is not.
Yeah.
I mean it could be.
I'm just wondering if we're like overinterpreting this and like we see a spider, but to the spider it's just a badge with a bunch of lines around it.
I mean, I wonder if maybe if we looked at more of these, if they don't all look so clean and spider-like.
Yeah,
I suppose.
But
I like
that's
the idea.
ruining the
I like
magic
the
of
idea
it.
that spiders
I
for some
would-
reason know what they look like.
I would like to know. Yeah, I would like to know why it does this. Like, what is the purpose of this construction?
I mean, spiders know what they look like in the sense that any animal can recognize their like mates, like because they have to. Like
Sure.
a spider knows when they meet another one of their own species.
It's
But,
just sort of like
a bear couldn't like build like a crude like
Build a
statue
bear?
of a bear.
well, bears don't build things anyway.
That's true.
A beaver then. A beaver wouldn't like shape its dam to like look like another beaver.
I would be sick though.
It's
I
just
want
it's
that.
like an intimidation tactic. Like there's a huge beaver here. Do not
That's so scary.
come close.
Cool. pretty cool.
But like this is a view of a spider from above, essentially, and spiders, I imagine, meet each other on the same plane. They can see each other. They can't see that far in the like ahead of them. So
yeah,
like,
I'm not
would
even
they know
sure
what
how
a
well
spider
they see.
looks
They
like?
might just sense themselves in different ways. Like
I think
because they could probably like use their legs to rub against their other legs and be like, yeah, I got one leg there, another leg there,
and like,
and there's a big,
like
big old
smells
butt.
and like
well, bees can do multiplication.
Yeah, but bees also like have like a language,
How?
like they dance for each other to communicate how far the flower is away.
Yeah, I saw a bee movie.
There was I read about an experiment where they did they would put out they had took a beehive and they put out like sugar water or pollen or whatever for these bees to like eat. And they moved the location of the pollen, like they tried moving it like 10 feet away. And then the next day it would be like 20 feet away. And the next day it'd be like 30 feet away. And the bees eventually figured out the pattern and they would predict, they knew where it was going to be. And then they even tried it with a multiplication. They would put it like 2 feet away and then 4 feet away and then 8 feet away. And the bees were able to figure out that pattern too. They were, every day it's twice as far. So they would like be there already. They would be there already. Yeah.
So it would be 16 feet away being like, where's the pollen? Where is
Exactly.
That's
bee
crazy.
dancing is interesting because it's kind of fucking with one of the definitions of what like human language means. I learned about this in the first semester. I think that like human language has the feature of displacement, so we can talk about things that aren't true. We can make things up, and we can talk about things that aren't in like our immediate surroundings. We can tell stories about things that we can't see. And most animals can't do that, even though they can communicate, like dogs talk to each other, basically. But they can never talk about something that's not true or that's not there. But bees actually have a form of displacement because they can do that. They can tell their people about like a flower that is like kilometers away. And that's pretty crazy. I don't think they could make up stories about flowers, though. I'm not sure if that's a thing. But that would be fascinating.
They're maybe more moral than humans.
I would be surprised if bees have like a sense of like narrative.
No, probably not. Probably not.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's other animals like dolphins, for example, that have like very complex languages that people wonder if maybe there's more to it. Maybe they can actually be like playful or creative.
If we've designed a new special iPad that dolphins can use underwater. They boop the thing with their nose, and we've discovered they've invented their own form of meme, and they send it to each other.
You ever see a video of like a monkey reacting to like a magic trick?
Yeah, I've seen some of those. Some of them are fake. I don't like the fake ones.
I don't know if the one I'm thinking of is fake or not.
There's a few that are like CGI, and I'm like, you fuck. It's easy enough to make a monkey be like, what? Where'd it go? That's fun. That's all you need. I saw one where like someone does a little like makes like a handkerchief disappear or something, and the monkey like kind of like sort of like opened its mouth, kind of like put its hands to its face, kind of like was like looking around and sort of like started like jumping and like looking back at like where it was. It seemed real enough. I don't know. Yeah, they're subtle. The fake ones. There was one that, I mean, I'm not entirely sure. It's just sort of like I couldn't tell how it could have been done. But there was a guy who put a playing card up against the glass, and he pushed it through the glass, and it was on the other side of the glass inside the orangutan enclosure, and the orangutan like looked at it and tapped it and picked it up.
Mm-hmm.
And
that was fake.
And then he tried to push the thing back through the glass, and he tapped it with a stick. Because he thought, like, I can push it through too. And I thought that was real. But then I was like, how the fuck did he put the thing through the glass in the first place?
That is... Yeah.
That seems like more of a camera trick than it was a magic trick. Well, I mean, I guess magic tricks and camera tricks are the same thing, but you know what I mean.
No, a camera trick is not a magic trick.
Like the monkey, the orangutan seemed a little confused, but I don't know.
magic is just technology that we don't understand. Like cameras. I don't understand them.
Magic tricks are not the same as camera tricks, but like a lot of magic is about like making you look in the place that so that they can do a special thing.
Yeah, sure.
And so like you can not edit the footage but still use camera trickery to make it hard for you to notice something happening.
Yeah, okay, that's fair.
But I feel like that one particular, it was just CGI, and there was already a card on the other side of the glass.
Well, wait, just to finish about the Draconic Drugstore.
Yes.
So I came up with an idea because I want to have like characters that have a world that I can tell stories about, that I can make narrative illustrations about, and explore that whole thing. And then I made that big project for school and like explored that entire house. By the way, I built the entire house in Minecraft to have reference pictures.
Nice.
Like in a bigger scale, to get all the angles right. So yeah, that was fun. But after that, I was kind of burned out on the project, and I was like, I need to get back to it. I want to make a comic about them. I want to make a comic about my like 5 people cast of wacky creatures, and it's like it's hard to think where to start. It's like having a complex cast of characters is really overwhelming. I have had like a big project in mind for a long time. I don't really want to spoil too much, but essentially, I think I've mentioned this part before, is that comics that I make eventually will coincide. So Clarissa will meet Punk at some point. The Lord of Ghosts characters will meet everyone else. And then there's a bunch of other comics with characters I haven't made yet, which will also be part of like this big, super cinematic universe thing. Gonna make your own endgame.
Yeah, but like better. Because I don't like Marvel.
But actually good, though.
Because it's got my characters.
I haven't seen
Endgame.
Cool. Maybe it's great. Maybe it's a masterpiece. I don't know.
It's probably good. I haven't seen anything beyond the first Avengers. So like that, it's a huge idea, and like it's kind of stupid, but I've not like focused too heavily on like making it perfect, like making everything fit perfectly, and having parts of one comic like foreshadow other things, and having everything perfectly planned out. Because I realized that planning everything out on such a large scale would mean that I would be planning my comic career for the next 20 years and then not posting anything. So instead I'm going to work on Clarissa, I'm going to make that. Then I'm going to finish The Lord of Ghosts. Then there's some other things to do. Bale Jape 2, Punk will have to return at some point. I don't even know how.
Juggling many balls.
Yeah, but like the point, I think, is to have this cool, huge story and then to not think about it too hard. And then do like the individual parts.
Yeah,
do the individual parts. Start it. I don't even know what it would be called.
My problem was also a bit that like in that big project about like the different rooms of the Draconic Drugstore, I essentially spent like 3-4 months just drawing these rooms and planning them out and thinking about how this house works. And that's all cool, but it doesn't really tell a story. Like, I don't really make people care about these characters by planning out this house in much detail. It's fun, but like,
it's extremely fun to flesh out the lore. Like I've got like a origin of like the universe sort of lore part. Like, why are all these things the way they are? Well, you see, millions of years ago, and I wrote a little thing, and I'm like, oh, this is so fucking sick. I can't wait for one of the comic characters far in the future to be like, millions of years ago, and they just say the lore that I came up with. and they just say
Oh,
it would be
hell yeah.
fucking so cool.
I can't wait until the dramatic conclusion wherein Clarissa and the Lord of Ghosts and Pump are all unicorn jelly style, billions of years in the future, existing as like abstract mathematical symbols in a space beyond time.
Yes.
That's what I'm looking forward to.
I forgot what I was gonna. What was I getting at?
Oh, you were talking about a character in the future, like bringing up the origin of the universe?
Oh no, not that. Just sort of. It's fun to obsess over the lore and get it all right. And I would say every time you have a cool new idea, write it down immediately, and then figure out how you're gonna fit it in later.
I started with that recently. I started actually using like OneNote and making folders for ideas and like
it is
putting
it's
them
good.
all down.
You can figure out the details, the minutiae later, but it's fun to
True.
write it down when you think of it. But a great example of a naturally evolving set of lore and characters is Baman and Piderman, the animated series on YouTube. Have you ever seen Baman and Piderman?
A little bit.
It starts out as like a goofy looking Batman character and a Spider-Man, and they say, "I'm Batman, I'm Piderman. We come
Sounds
over
like
the
a
house.
PCB voicemail.
We're best friends," and they're just like Batman and Piderman. They're just hanging out in the house, and it's like really like dumb and fun and cute.
Yeah.
And over time, like they introduce characters, and then the characters have wacky adventures because they live in a world where anything could happen. It's kind of like Adventure Time. It just sort of, because anything could happen, anything does happen, and then things that happen remain in the lore of the show. So another episode can happen, and the characters from before can still exist there, and there's it just sort of builds. It's really fun to watch. I would very much recommend watching all of that, because it's not that long.
There's definitely stories where they feel so free flowing that I feel like would be easier to write for them. Like, I know, I'm thinking about Cowboy Bebop a lot recently. Like every episode is kind of just something completely new, and it's the same premise, but they do something new with it on a different planet, with a different set of supporting characters, and it's very appealing to me. And I mean, my favorite example of someone who just started writing and then figured things out is Tolkien himself. Because he's a weird freak of nature, and he, like, the way he wrote was, oh yes, I'm gonna start at Bilbo's birthday, and then I'm gonna and send them on an adventure. And like, whenever something happened in the story, he was like, what does this mean? What are the larger implications of this? Let's find out. Like, he didn't really plan much ahead, and that's why I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know how he did it, but like it somehow in the end all fit into a larger narrative. But he just went along. He changed a few bits. Like, in retrospect, I think like Aragorn, when he first meets the hobbits, in the original script, he used to be a hobbit himself too. Instead of Strider, he was called Trotter. I mean, Frodo's name was also Bingo at that time.
Bingo.
Bingo.
Bingo Baggins.
And Bilbo
Sounds like a
Baggins.
monkey.
Yeah, they should have kept that. But at some point, like, he was just like, this Trotter guy, he seems not that hobbity. He might be a human. What kind of human would he be? And like, as he was writing it, he was like developing this backstory. And I'm like, it's like, he just started and went off in a crazy creative direction, made a masterpiece.
Yeah.
Like,
I
I really shouldn't spend years planning houses or whatever.
That sounds like the way to do it.
I mean, for sure, he went back and iterated and like changed a few things. Like, the first draft is never the best draft, but once you have a first draft, it's so much easier to write a compelling story because you have a story that already exists, and you're like, I mean, this part would be better if it was like this, actually. So you just change it, and then you have, a story that had a good foundation, and then you made it better. by tweaking a few things later. So it's always good to get a first draft out, even if you don't release it immediately.
Yeah, or draw it when it's
Or
a
draw
comic,
it. Yeah, I
like,
mean that's definitely a thing. I always like write the comics before I draw them.
Yeah, I would think drawing takes it me much longer than to write something.
But even for me, it's like when I'm sketching something, I'm like, I'm reading this, the way I'm turning the pages, and I'm like, something sucks. Something sucks about this. I gotta change something. And you can go back and change it. But because I had all of those sketches, I could read it and figure out that something was needed. So it's always better to have something to work with rather than planning it out and then hoping that your plan will work, because it most likely will not.
Yeah.
Just because of the lack of information you have while you're making the plan. You have zero information. You're making it from scratch. And so seeing the finished product, if it's perfectly to the plan and you didn't change anything as you were going, you might at the very end realize that the plan was flawed, and you're like, dang, fuck.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why it's good to... that's why it's good to iterate as you go.
Yeah. I was thinking that I might focus on telling mini stories first, just to get myself writing and practicing and getting to know the characters a bit, without having the pressure of having everything to be canonical and important for an overarching story.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
honestly, I should do that as well.
First. Yeah.
Just short stories with Punk or whatever.
Yeah.
Mini
we already
comics.
have the mini Redman comics. By the way, I celebrated his return. It was great.
He's the singular post of return where he has goofy teeth now.
Yes. Very, very spooky too. I like to think he got inspired by the mouse.
The mouse vampire?
Yes. And Redman was like, oh, that's spooky now, having cute mouse teeth.
Yeah. They got the same teeth. They gotta be the same teeth.
It's exactly the same.
There's so much you could read into it. Maybe Redman killed her and is using her teeth for real.
He thought, oh, it's a vampire. She must be full of blood. But so he ate her. But he's like, oh, there was just cheese in here. Disgusting.
Wait,
but at least I got all
these
sweet teeth.
Redman's a vampire, right? Like a vampire in its purest form.
I don't. I mean, how would you describe? He's not magical. He just eats a lot of blood.
That's true, but vampire bats aren't magical either. They're still vampires.
Sure. I mean, what do you mean when you say vampire? Do you mean drink? I
don't know.
Blood?
I was just like, yeah, he drinks blood. Yeah, that's his thing.
That's it. That's all. Well, hell, I could be a vampire then.
Every time I cut my lip and I suck the blood out, I'm a vampire.
Eat a delicious black pudding.
No. If you think that's delicious, yes, you are a vampire.
If you
I do like black pudding, actually. It's good, actually. Everyone who doesn't like it is just a hater.
Holding my crucifix up.
It's just it's like a little meaty something or other.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Ooh, gross. Ooh, haggis or whatever.
Ew, gross. Are you telling me that food is made of parts of a dead animal? Well, let me tell you. Let me tell you something, buddy. There's more where that came from.
I don't know.
Chicken nuggets are more gross than black pudding, but they taste better. So, who's the real winner?
Okay. All right. I'm not saying they're as good as chicken nuggets. Just that it's good is all.
Did you hear that Sauron straight?
Was he not straight originally?
Well, not very.
I mean, not very.
There's a lot of queer readings on Sauron specifically because he is Sauron. Sauron takes on a fair form to seduce the men of Middle Earth seduce the elves to make rings and stuff like that. And there's a lot of people who say, it's a classic.
Okay,
it's a classic boomer thing.
I guess you could read it that way.
There's a classic boomer thing to make your villain of your thing that you're writing gay-coded because gays are evil. And that's just sort of become
there's
like a popular thing in media
There's something to it.
from then.
Is there something to it? Because it sounds like you're just deliberately misunderstanding the words seduce there.
Well, it's complicated, but
you would have to point to me to some clear like sexual tension between him and a person.
I think there's people who say, or like researchers who say that like queerness goes beyond that. Like it's just like
what
rejection of like societal norms in a certain way.
What the fuck are you talking about?
There's a bit more to like queer theory than just being gay. I don't know too much about it. But the point.
So your argument is yes, Sauron was never attracted to any men, but he's gay he's gay coded, and that counts. That's what you're saying. He's like he's just kind of like he's just got gay vibes.
That is a very popular interpretation of Sauron. That's just like,
that sucks.
I mean, look up Sauron Melkor and like see all the like hot fan arts that there are. And like the big deal about this show is that like it's about the making of the Rings of Power. And Celebrimbor, who made the Rings of Power, is like very popularly like shipped with Sauron because Sauron seduced him to and worked with him on these great pieces of art and like and like betrayed him in the end, and it's like and murdered him in a horrific way and put him
a very homosexual thing to do, betray and murder.
Well, I didn't come up with it, but like there's a lot of people who are really invested in that dynamic in that way. And in the show, what they did instead was that they have Sauron pair up with Galadriel and make him, instead of him being this ethereal, beautiful, kind of elvish creature.
Evil fanboy.
Yeah, like evil. Instead of making him an evil fanboy, they made him like kind of a scruffy Aragorn type looking dude.
Yeah, because unlike back in the day where you would code your villains to be gay, like gay queer, nowadays it's queer to be straight. And so the straighter and more masculine typical is like, oh, that sucks, that's evil. So now we make Sauron the straightest guy of all time.
Yeah, it definitely
makes so much sense.
Makes sense to me.
It feels a bit that way, and I think they tried to like misdirect the audience who were expecting, especially like Tolkien fans who were expecting a certain take on Sauron and have it be like kind of the opposite. But like I've also seen a lot of people being really mad about that, and I was like, I can understand that, because like, I mean, it would be like one opportunity to have like kind of a complex or maybe queer relationship between like two male characters in like big fantasy show, and for many people that's been like the text that they've been interpreting for decades, and then like Amazon comes around and like makes it the most just like, I don't know, boilerplate kind of heterosexual ship. That's like,
I think it would have been cooler if he was gay and is super flamboyant as well. Because like
they might still go there, but like, I don't know. Didn't do so in the first season.
He's gonna turn gay because of the power of the ring.
Well, he's a shapeshifter, so like he could take on a different form in the next season to do different things, which could be fun. But yeah, there's been a lot of criticism of the show because of that they like, it's funny, like on the one side, like all the like conservative rage tubers like calling the show woke and the most horrible thing, the like conspiracy, the message, everything. And on the other side, the woke people are also not really happy with it because it isn't actually like, it's still pretty conservative in that sense. And yeah, it kind of, the whole show, I feel like it made most people on both sides not quite happy. And that's kind of,
I see.
That's pretty unfortunate.
But is the show good?
It's alright. And that's the worst thing about it. It's just alright. It's Lord of the Rings. It should be amazing, but it was enjoyable enough. There's good acting.
Is there going to be a second season?
There's actually 5 seasons. They contracted 5 seasons from the beginning.
God. As a disease?
Yeah. There's a contract or whatever.
Contracting a disease.
No, that's correct. I was actually.
Yes.
I have to pee. I will be right back.
Okay, bye-bye.
Have a good pee.
Now that show has been occupying my brain for 2 months, and
it's
a big deal for me.
I caught like the end, or not the end, it's sort of a middle of an episode, and I was just sort of seeing if it was interesting, and then it was a lot of dramatic talking between characters. Obviously, I didn't know the characters because I hadn't watched from the first episode. I was just catching it, and like,
how were you catching it? It wasn't on TV.
My brother was watching it on Amazon. I walked in the room. I was like, "Oh, okay." And there was scary people, and they burned a forest, and the hobbits were like, "This sucks. The forest is burnt." And then there was a Jesus guy, and so someone gave him an apple. And then they were in the mines of Moria or whatever. And
that's actually correct.
I figured because at the end the Balrog was at the bottom.
Yeah.
They threw like a stone as like they got a hole, and it's like, wow, look down there, it's like a cavern. Cool. And then the guy said to his father, "Fuck you, Dad," and the dad said, "Fuck you, son. Get out." And I don't know.
They're gonna explore that. They're gonna explore like the backstory of Khazad-dûm, and like they showed it at its glory basically, and that was pretty neat.
Yeah, it's the part of the episode I sort of watched didn't have anything that hooked me, like in terms of intrigue.
Yeah.
It was just sort of like characters despondently talking to each other about how bad things are, and that, don't worry, we'll get through this. Come on, we can do it. Oh no. Yeah. And I'm like, that's not really the vibe of Lord of the Rings. It is for like a few scenes at a time, but like the swelling music and the adventure is what I think of. The climbing over the mountains and I guess it's just sort of a film-sized film is better to get you pumped about what's happening.
Welcome back. Yeah, it just like Gib caught a bit of an episode and wasn't satisfied with the vibe. And I get that, like, because it's like the dialogue is well written, but it's certainly missing some of the drive that like a self-contained adventure would have, like The Hobbit or Lord of the Rings, where it's like we have a clear quest, and instead we have like 3 or 4 plot lines that go into different directions, and it's not really clear where or when.
Yeah, is there like an inciting incident that you can point to in this show that sets things in motion, or is it just sort of like, let's have a view of the way the world is, and then we'll build to something happening?
It's basically building towards like anticipating that Sauron will come back and wondering, where is Sauron? Who is Sauron? And what can we do to prepare against him? And there's like resurgence of evil in the world and stuff like that. But yeah, it doesn't have like Gandalf coming up, Frodo, here, take this ring, go on, adventure now. It doesn't have that at all. And it has a few interesting plot elements that just kind of, they don't have enough drive to like make that season very exciting. It was very exciting for me because I'm a big Tolkien fan, and I'm glad when they showed something from the Silmarillion. I'm like, wow, that's like the helm of Túrin that he wore to slay Glaurung. Neat. They have that in the background.
Soy.
Yes. Soy. Yes. Oh, is that Baron Lúthien on that painting? Yes.
That's, you know what? It's reasonable.
I like that. And the other big thing is that they completely rely on mystery boxes to keep the show going, at least in the first season. So like, there's the stranger. The stranger, nobody knows who he is. He came to Middle-earth in a meteor and got found by a hobbit. He's a weird bearded man who has weird powers. And who could he be? Could he be a wizard? Could he be Sauron? Could he be a Maya or a Balrog or something like that? Could he be? And they just don't answer it. It keeps going on, and we like find out bits and pieces. And he may be a young Gandalf. He may be a blue wizard. I don't know. And it's just like this. His story himself is not satisfying enough. It's just about figuring out who he could be. And same thing with the guy who turns out to be actually Sauron. That story works out better because we actually learn that he's Sauron. But yeah.
That's sort of a thing with TV. I don't know what like the sort of make the audience ask questions so that they'll watch the new episode, but like never fulfill on the answer.
Feels cheap.
It feels cheap. Did you see the latest Doctor Who special? The last. Do you watch Doctor Who? I forget.
No.
You don't. Okay. Well, I'll just say Chris Chibnall, the current showrunner, he has a problem with having the illusion of complexity, but it just results in me asking, what does any of this have to do with anything for like 90% of the episode? And then at the end, it's like, haha, they were all intertwined perfectly. And I'm like, oh, that's not clever though. You just didn't give me the information I needed to know that. It's not like a twist. It's just sort of like finally you've revealed the plot right at the end.
I see.
And it's
I'm sure you can do it in a satisfying way, but it's complicated to pull that off, I think.
It was just sort of like, this isn't good writing. This is annoying. I hate you.
I'm just glad that we know who Sauron is now, so that in the following seasons we don't have to wonder anymore who he could be. Like it's like that's just not a. I want him to get to the plot. I want him to get to the War of the Elves and Sauron, and I want him to get to the Fall of Numenor and all of that. But like they don't. They just I don't know. Feels like they were dragging, and they wanted to fill a season. They said. I think the showrunner said it's like, no, it's so that you can learn to care about all of these characters and know what's at stake when the war is coming. Like, that's fine, but in the end, it's mostly just about, like, the mysteries. And,
I mean, you can care about Frodo even though you don't know anything really about his life.
That's true. We don't barely anything about his life for the first 50 years.
You get, like, a brief, like, oh, he lives in this nice place that's green and lush and people are happy.
His parents died, he got adopted, that's it.
Well, you don't even know that in the film. Like, I'm just thinking, like, the way the film shows him. He's just a guy who lives in a place, and his Uncle Bilbo has a ring.
Don't they say that Bilbo adopted him?
You learn about Frodo as he's on his adventure, so while the exciting stuff is happening, you're also caring about Frodo more because of all the stuff, that the way he reacts to things. It's like, you don't need to do like a prologue so that you know Frodo's entire life story, which is probably boring because he's not on the adventure.
That's right.
I agree.
He just lived in a house.
So one day he had a lovely block of cheese, like what do hobbits do? They fish. They have like Morris dancing.
They smoke pipe weed.
Frodo was kind of a bookworm. And like was like meeting with the elves in the forest.
Did you say he was kind of a worm?
No, a bookworm.
Oh. I thought you like what would you still love me if I was a worm? Like if Frodo was a worm.
Would the ring still fit him if he was a worm?
Yes, actually. The ring changes in size.
Master Frodo, would you still like me if I was a worm, Master Frodo? Go back to bed, Sam. Shut the hell up.
Yes. Yes, actually. He would.
Okay, good. Yeah, I think so.
But a worm couldn't carry Mr. Frodo into the fires of Mount Doom.
That's sadly
like Worm
true.
Sam would say, I can't carry the ring. I also can't carry you. I guess you're on your own.
I think the most interesting thing the show did was that they tried to do more with the orcs and having the orcs not be pure evil. And they have a character who is like a deformed elf, and he calls himself an orc, but he clearly doesn't look like an orc yet. He just kind of looks like a dark elf. And supposedly he was one of the first elves that got caught by Morgoth, and he like fathered a lot of the orcs. And
they made babies? I thought they were all tortured, the orcs.
Oh no, they procreate. They procreate in the same way that elves and humans do.
You mean there's orc bitches out there?
Yes.
Well, don't they get like spawned out of like a pit?
That's
Peter Jackson. That's
Peter
the
Jackson.
movie version.
That's just the movie.
Yes.
I see.
It was cool though.
And yeah, I like that effect too. I just imagined that they had sex down there, and then there's like they grow up, and then the babies come out of the mud pool. That's how I.
They fuck the mud.
Sure.
I don't know, or just under the mud. But they have this like orc elf character.
It's like the Homestuck Alternian mother grub. Only instead of like a big grub that's like spitting out babies down at the core of the planet, it's down in the pit. There's just all these like orcs fucking down in like a hole that you can't see, and just sometimes like fully formed like adult babies just crawl out from the hole down in the pit.
It's the incestuous slurry.
The incestuous slurry. That's right. They still have that.
And they go in a direction where the orc guy just kind of wants to make a home for his people, and
what a walk right.
Big mistake.
Have them be a place to live. And I think that's very interesting because that's something that Tolkien never was sure about or made a decision on. Because on the one side he was like, so orcs, they procreate. They are like they are like fighting, but they also have personalities. They have some extent of free will. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, I was like, but no, they're created by the evil, so they can't have that. Mm-hmm. So like his idea was that evil can't create anything new. It can only corrupt things and make them bad. And he was like, he can't give the orcs free will, because then that would mean like, oh, after they're dead, I guess because they spawned out of elves, they would go to the west and live in peace there. That's weird. They did evil things. That's not how it should work. And I think in early versions, orcs were actually just like golems, like mindless, like fighting robots that just did the bidding of the Dark Lord. But
weird.
While writing Lord of the Rings, I think he just had too much fun with the orcs. And there's scenes in Lord of the Rings where orcs talk to each other without like supervision, and they talk about, after the war's over, we're gonna go and open our own little company somewhere else with a few good boys, and we're gonna do our own thing. And at that point, orcs just become like their own like people that clearly aren't like tied to forever just doing the evil's bidding. And Tolkien never really made a like final decision on that. Like, are they can orcs be redeemed? Because at the end of the Lord of the Rings book, Aragorn like goes and genocides all of the orcs. That's like
bummer.
That's like, when you think about them as people that had other ambitions than just being evil, that's really fucked up.
Sad. Yeah. That's too bad.
And at least they're doing something with it. They're like Galadriel tells like the evil orc guy, we'll hunt you all down and kill your last kin. And he's like, that sounds pretty evil, dude. Like, that sounds pretty Morgothy, what you're selling me. Yeah.
That's pretty good though, that they found a little bit of like space in the lore that like Tolkien never really filled in, and they're like, what do we think is there? That's
the big question mark is, what are they gonna do about it? Because at the end of the show, there's still gonna be a giant war between the orcs and the elves, and like the elves have to come out as the good guys there. What's gonna happen?
Yeah.
And I thought maybe they're gonna do something where they show some orc characters that are more morally ambiguous, and maybe they get like they stand up against their like other orcs, and maybe they get like granted lands in the end somewhere else, like being forgiven their crimes or something. They need to do something now.
I would imagine that the way they could get around that is having like the sympathetic orcs who want peace killed by more bloodthirsty orcs that like the idea of fighting and killing.
Yeah.
And so, like, the bad orcs are now the orcs that they do go to war with.
Yeah. Or that they get tricked in some way, like, or like, there's some kind of scheme to make all the orcs forever turn against the elves or something like that. They opened the door, and the implications are pretty complicated, and I'm curious what they're going to do with it.
Bros, we're at 23%. We are at 23% rendered. We have gone up to almost 2%.
Yo,
it's a red letter day.
How many minutes is that of the video? Like 2?
It's probably about half an hour.
Oh, okay.
Wait, no, that's not right.
No, there's no way that could be it, right?
I can't do math.
I'm 100. 8 hours times 60 is 480 minutes. So 1% of that is 4.8 minutes. So yeah, 2% of it's almost 10 minutes, almost 9-ish minutes.
Shit.
Hell yeah. We're gonna make it. We're GMI. We're GMI. Running commentary.
I would
like
be so... Yeah, I'd be so scared. Because, like...
Oh, I'm terrified.
I've had, like, renders that... I don't know. They just fuck up, like 70% of the way through, like a multi-hour thing. Like when I was editing the podcast, a couple times that happened. With the animations I did. Which I guess makes sense, but, like, still... It fucking sucks having to redo it. And sometimes it just doesn't make sense why it broke.
It could fail. Something could go wrong. But I mean, what can I do other than just let it go and hope it all works out?
True.
Yeah. Still, it is a little nerve-wracking. I tried setting in the Control-Alt-Delete menu. I tried setting Vegas to high priority to allocate more CPU space for it. And it does actually speed it up a little bit if I set it to above normal priority, and it kind of slows down everything else. But if I set it to high priority, it slows down everything else so much that, like, I can't even, like, use the mouse or like do anything. Like the computer, like, does not function when it's so, like, if I set it to high priority, everything's fucked. I literally have to, like, restart the computer.
Okay. Hypothetically, if you were okay with not using the computer, could you turn it to high priority to speed it up, and then when it's finished, then your computer will be usable again? Maybe.
I don't know. I haven't tested it. In theory, like, maybe when the render completed, it would, like, ping, and then it would stop taking up all the CPU, and then the computer would go back to working normally again. But I don't know, because I didn't try it. I started, like, the 120-hour render, and then I set it to high priority, and then it was like, well, now your computer doesn't work, and, like, the menus don't pop up when you try to click. It just doesn't work. So I was like, well, I can't not use my computer for 100 hours, so I'll just have to start over. Yeah. That's what's up.
It's I'm thinking of, like, what is it? Like animated CG films like Finding Nemo or whatever. They take like entire arrays of computers to render like a single frame, and they have so many frames. It takes weeks.
Back then, is it still that much?
I think so. Just because of, like, the fidelity is increased. I mean,
the fidelity has increased, but the computing power has also increased, and also the, like, efficiency of the.
Maybe it's different. I still feel like they would still have their, like, arrays of rendering computers that are just there to render.
I mean, I'm sure the files are huge.
Oh yeah, because, like, they want Blu-ray quality of like a feature-length animated film. Every frame has to be rendered. Like, every frame. If you've ever, like, worked with,
we both said it,
with like a blender or whatever where you're like rendering like a little thing and it takes, I don't know, 20 minutes to make an image that has like the right lighting. Like lighting takes so much more than like rendering in a video game because it's like dynamically like figuring out how everything is going to reflect. And so to do that for a high fidelity, like 4K Blu-ray quality image of, and then more than one of them, it's just like I feel like it must still take weeks for the final render.
It would be cool if there would be like a library or something where they just had powerful computers. You could
They do. I think
pay a little
have,
bit and render your video there. Is that a thing?
I don't know about library. I mean, like in Pixar, they have like the rendering room, or at least they did, where they just like tons of computers all linked together to render these frames.
Yeah,
and
but
they have backups
just saying
in case. But
would
yeah.
be cool if that was like a public service people could use. Like, so not everyone has to buy a super expensive big computer or two of them.
When I did like animation at uni, I had to do some 3D rendering. I only had the one computer, and you were allowed to leave it running overnight, and you could go home. And the computer room had like a lock, and you knew the passcode. Or your student ID badge was like a card thing, so you could swipe that and get in.
Yeah,
so it was.
I'm gonna miss my student ID badge so much.
I still keep mine around. I don't know why. It's just sort of like, oh, that's what I used to look like. Oh, I remember putting this around my neck every fucking day.
I'm gonna miss.
Did you wear a lanyard?
Transportation.
I wore my college lanyard everywhere, and everyone made fun of me, and I was a big loser.
We just have like a tiny card.
Lanyard?
I wore it around my neck.
What's a lanyard?
You know, like the rope, the rope around your neck that has like your keys and stuff on it.
I didn't put my key, but I know what you mean. Like the little like.
Or your ID card or whatever, yeah.
Yeah, it would have like a little plastic thing. You would snap your ID card in there.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. That's such an old memory now, having to do that.
Yeah.
My student ID gives me free public transportation in the entire like state. And
that's great.
That's just really nice.
Wow, that's a good deal.
I mean, that's most of the cost of you going to university here. It's just like, yeah, I pay
fuck off.
I pay $300 so that I get that card, so I have free public transportation, and I'm also allowed to go to school.
Jeez, don't break the bank. Oh God, don't break the bank. Paying for bus fare for your college education. Jesus.
Yeah, it's nice. I was born in the right country.
I can't complain. My student loans are all paid off. But
you're still allowed to complain.
I'll never stop griping. No. I'm gonna keep griping about it. I'll never let that grudge go.
Severely.
I'll let it drive a wedge between me and my and foreigners. You know what? Maybe we should build the wall actually to keep fucking.
We already have an ocean between us, Ben. Isn't the ocean enough?
Right,
build it across the Atlantic Ocean.
Yeah. Get that Saudi the line project to put it in the ocean.
Stupid.
Why? Okay, I saw that post that was like, "This is terrifying." Like, why is it terrifying? Like, yeah, I get that it's sci-fi and it's probably never gonna happen. But like, what's bad? What's scary about it?
I think
it just looks cool.
Well, okay.
It doesn't look cool. It looks gross.
On the one side, it's scary because
it looks like a cyberpunk video game city, and I don't like that.
I like that.
Okay, okay. I think like one of the gross things or scary things about it is just it's Dubai, and Dubai literally uses slaves in like labor. Is
Dubai in Saudi Arabia?
No.
Where is Dubai?
No, wait. Is it? It's like. Fuck, I don't know.
Hang on.
I'm embarrassed. I should know.
I used to think it was in India. I'm not sure.
No, it's in the UAE.
It's in the Emirates, right?
It's in the Emirates.
Yeah.
Which is like next to Saudi Arabia, right?
It's under
close
I think.
by, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and they have like horrible human rights violations and stuff going on there with like
I mean,
guest
yeah.
Okay,
workers
sure.
who
Par
they
for the course.
exploit horribly.
Yeah.
And like
Sure.
they do these like crazy stunt like projects that are like just for tourism, I guess, and status.
I'm just saying, sure. Like maybe the country's bad, maybe the government's bad, whatever. But I just saw the tweet of "This is terrifying" with the video showing the 3D CG render of the Line City, and I genuinely did not understand what was supposed to be scary about it.
Yeah,
I think they may have been like talking about like the stacked nature of like the city being like, I don't know, it's all in a line and it's all really tall and cramped together.
Yeah,
I feel like it could feel kind of claustrophobic living in a place where the only, like, I mean, it's a terrible idea for very many reasons, but like I just think
it's incredibly
I'm not terrified by it.
hang on. Why is it a terrible idea? Isn't the idea that it's just like a really efficient way to like
but it can't be though. It's like
organize an urban space.
But you
it's
stretch it out as far as you can. Literally, it's like the least efficient thing. Like a good urban space is like a small and condensed like network of things.
A circle would be better.
Well, I thought
just the main thing.
I thought I mean, it's in the desert. Like, it's not like it's
no
like...
for like. All right, they here's one of the main things. The public transport. They say you can go 7 kilometers in 20 minutes, but it needs to stop at all the stations along the way. So it's not going to take 20 minutes because no train is going to not stop at any of the stops.
Okay.
And it's just sort of, it's all packed so tightly together that you can't expand. I don't know.
Yeah, that's also the thing. Like, cities grow and change, and this thing can't grow or change. A sprawling city coming outwards, having like a single district being connected to 4 districts, 5 districts around it, as opposed to a line where you can only be connected to what's ahead or behind you. And you can't build it taller. It's just sort of like, it's a cute idea, I guess, but it has no real practicality making a city in that shape, except for making a cool CG render that's like, wow, the future.
Okay,
it's stupid. I've seen enough videos to know that it doesn't make sense architecturally.
I
or
thought
for city
that the
planning.
Point of it was that the fact that it's like thin and condensed into a line means that you can like get anywhere in that line in like a relatively short amount of time, instead of relying on like a sprawling network of like public transportation and buses.
That's what they say, but I the problem is that it wouldn't work that way, probably.
I mean, I don't know what they have in store, if they have a solution to those problems, but they have not addressed them, which is the sort of the red flags. They haven't addressed issues that are so obvious with the design of a line. Yeah. They just said, we're going to do it. And I'm like, okay, well, I mean, your track record, Saudi Arabia, is very poor. You've built like so many lush, amazing things that you've abandoned because you did it for like publicity, tourism, or just showing off your wealth.
Just to attract
most of Saudi Arabia
country.
Is in like disrepair. There's so many slums, there's so many poor places that are not kept up, and the billionaires spend all of this money on these big, luscious, like mostly ego-driven projects more than anything else. They want to be the coolest guys doing the coolest things.
There's stuff like the palm tree islands that are absolutely ridiculous, where they where they have to like dig up sand from the ocean to like and destroy coral reefs and everything around it to make these islands so that they can look like palm trees and then have like a normal like suburb on it and a highway. It's like
Saudi princes are basically Elon Musk's. That's the easiest way to describe.
Yeah. Okay. I get that it looks like it's not actually they're not actually going to do it.
I think
Sure.
they started. I think they actually
they've started
they
construction,
started
but, like-
digging a hole for it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they've started doing something, but like
not a hole, a line.
Well, it's a line-shaped hole.
it's a trench.
Yeah, a trench,
yeah, it's, right. Yeah, it's just a fancy word for a line-shaped hole.
I also just think it looks shit. It looks bad on a map. It's just a line.
I think it looks neat. I think it looks cool.
All right. One thing I don't like about like the aesthetic of it
Mhm.
is the mirror on the outside. I don't know
Yeah.
what the benefit of the mirror is other than like blinding you with the
Yeah.
like the sun's rays if you're anywhere outside the line. It's like if you try to approach
true.
the line, we will blast you with
I
these
agree.
the solar power.
I assumed that they were like solar panels on the.
No,
I mean,
I think
that
it's
would
just
kinda
so
make
that the
sense.
desert, so that it looks kind of invisible in the desert, that like the landscape doesn't get ruined. I think that's the point. But
Which is
Oh.
stupid because
yeah.
the landscape, like no one's going to be out there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and yeah,
The only thing that might happen is birds will fly into it, and the sun will like bake the land around the line, which could cause problems for any living thing outside of it.
yeah.
Hmm.
You know, Ben, I think my aesthetic problem with the line is like a cultural thing because like you Americans are used to like straight lines and borders and straight streets everywhere, and
Well,
like that's
some
not
some
how,
places.
Yeah, but it's just not how like the world that I grew up in. is.
Yeah,
I was kind of like terrified by Toronto, where I spent like
I mean-
a month and a half, just because like I look into one direction and I can see the horizon, and I look in the other direction, I can also see a horizon. It's like one street that goes from one end of the world to the other, and it's so far, and I need a car to get anywhere. It sucks.
Boston is not really like that. New York
No.
is like that, and that's
Yeah.
when I look at the line, it's like, well, it just looks like one huge
Yeah.
strip of downtown New York. It looks fine.
Yeah. I don't
it's
I don't
fine
like
with
New
me.
York.
Well, fair enough, I guess.
I prefer bus. I like a curvy city. I like roads that are weird and wacky and unique because they didn't know how to build roads back then. That's what I like. I like stupid roads.
Actually, they knew it better because they are made for like people who can walk and
Oh,
like not
true.
constructed for
They
car
would
traffic.
build it around the hill instead of destroying the hill to
Yeah.
flatten it to make a cube.
And they would build it like towards like city centers, marketplaces where the shops are and people gather, and like making it spread from there instead of making just a grid over like a suburban like place for people to live.
Yeah, I think when it comes to because I can one of the things they say about the line is like it's walkable. You're in your little pod and you can walk to the nearby grocery cube and you can
Hell
walk to
yeah.
the park area, and it's like, you know, conceptually not like terrible. Like I like that they're trying to make it walkable. They're trying to put trees in it. I just it's sort of the aesthetic of the future with the gray squares and the concrete this and that, and I'm like, don't you have like a rich history of architecture? Put some like cool Saudi Arabian like architecture with like stone things and make it look like a marketplace from Aladdin or
you're just
you
being
know.
a sentimental.
I'm just
that's
being a fucking
goofy.
I'm just being kind of racist, but I like old buildings. I like
Hey,
old buildings in the
line's cool, but like, can you make it look like Aladdin though? Like,
I want that. I would
I
prefer
give
that.
me-
that though.
not a single onion dome in sight. Like, are you
Like,
are you joking me? Like, what's the point?
Could you use like wooden planks instead of like concrete slabs? I like wood. Wood is cool.
Yeah.
Could you get
I'm
some cloth?
I'm
Get some-
okay with squares. I'm okay with
see.
concrete.
Like you can walk
I'm
in,
not.
you can walk in your little pod section, and like there's only so many things you can walk to. There's just this one thing, and then you walk further, and then there's the next pod section, and it probably looks similar because like
that's
that's
what a city is.
not
But I like
necessarily.
things that when they
Cities
look
have different areas
unique.
that feel different and have like different focuses of like culture and like things you can buy there and like things you can do there.
Think of a video game. Imagine if you're playing Dark Souls and every place in Dark Souls is the same place. You go from one place to the other place, and it's a new place. There's new enemies, but it's the same architecture every single time.
Dude, it's Elden Ring.
It would get boring. It would get dull. It would be like, where's anything new? Where's variety?
That was a joke, by the way. Elden Ring is not like that. Just a little bit. They reuse a lot of enemies and ruins and stuff. There's like the same kind of ruin everywhere.
Imagine this. It's Dark Souls, but it's set in the line. And because you can always see the horizon, you can always see the point that like the lines converge on, and you have to go in that direction, and you just have to fight through a gauntlet of big armored dudes that come out of the big concrete squares, and
that's Final Fantasy 13.
Shoot machine guns at you. 15?
13.
13.
It's
sure.
The one where it's like notorious for being a hallway.
Oh yeah, hallways, right? Okay, well, good.
No, not good.
Sounds cool, actually.
I like. Here's my favorite aesthetic: is like, a seaside town in the Mediterranean with those like bright white. I don't know what they're made of, like clay houses with like stuff. That's what I like.
Have you seen
the ones like set into like a cliff?
Yeah, set into the side of the hills and sort of...
Are those called adobes?
I don't know if it's a specific type of building. It's just sort of like... I like when there's a Mediterranean... It's like a hot climate, and they have like colorful roofs, all the same color, or maybe it's like there's a few red ones here, some yellow ones here, and then there's like white walls or like peach walls, and little cobbled streets and small little alleyways, and it's all going down to the ocean where there's the harbor and there's the ships. That's what I like. That's my favorite sort of location.
Mm-hmm.
I have a city in mind that is exactly like you described, and it's like one of my favorite places to be at. Wait, what's it called? Damn it. I have to look on Google Maps. Bonifacio on course. Bonifacio. It's like that kind of like Mediterranean city that is like built on a cliff, on a seaside cliff, and it looks like it's almost falling in. It's really cool.
Is it the one that you can see in the background of the skybox in Mario 64?
I really don't know.
This is nice.
Show me.
I'm uploading it right now. Got a bit of a long exposure, so it's more orange than it would be, but that's a cool little place.
Yeah. Exactly. I said basically exactly there where you can see this.
It's the higgledy-piggledy regimented placement of the buildings, the different sizes, the different slants of the roofs, different colors.
They're so tall and like so thin and built so funnily over the cliff.
They're gonna fall over.
I mean,
how many kids spit off the edge of that cliff?
You can see the giant like rocks that have fallen in the past thousands of years, and so like one day the rest is gonna fall. It's neat.
Finally, I like in like movies about Jesus in like Judea or whatever. People just like live in like holes like carved into the wall. In like places in like the Roman Empire, people just lived like peasants would just live in frickin' like holes carved into the side of a rock wall, and it was great. Everyone loved it. You have to go back.
Another thing about like the line, I think I would hate to be anywhere near the bottom just because of the sheer like tallness of everything around me. I would want to be at the top all the time. I don't know whether I'd be allowed at the top because it's probably like more expensive.
Like you think it would feel claustrophobic to be kind of like at the bottom of it with like the walls on rising up on both sides of you.
Both sides and
maybe.
It's
like
people,
it's just people are gonna throw trash down there probably from the walkways.
I like a big open sky. I like a big open, flatter sort of area.
I kind of think it's cool. Like the idea that like the idea is that like there'd be buildings sort of like on the wall, like kind of going up both sides, right? Like the buildings would be sort of built into the wall. They wouldn't be like rooted on the ground, rising up from it. I think that sounds neat. I think it sounds neat as hell, honestly.
But isn't that like just like houses with many stories? Isn't that already the same thing? kind of.
Well, it would mean that. In theory, it would mean that like. I think it would change the considerations for how you built buildings. I don't know.
I just can't get a good sense of how the light would like get into that place. I feel like it would be dark all the time.
I guess from the sides, from the windows.
I think it would just need to be wide enough. I just think if you make it wide enough that like the street down the middle of it is broad enough, then like the daylight can come in through the top.
If it's wide,
I thought the daylight comes in through the mirror walls. I thought it's like a one-sided mirror or something.
No.
The outside walls.
Well, I think the buildings are on
I've
the
seen.
wall.
Oh,
I mean, yeah, buildings would
they
stop.
have probably windows. I don't know.
I mean, maybe. I mean, those walls look really thick from these images.
They would have to be.
Yeah. I'm assuming the walls are opaque and extremely
I'm thinking of it like
rigid.
the same way in an airport they have big windows, but the roof is always like above them and sort of shading everything, so you can't. If the sun isn't like shooting through the window, it's like dark, even though you can see outside. I feel like that's how it would feel. You would be in the shade, looking out at the desert, and that's all. I'm like, jeez. I should have made that left turn at Albuquerque.
I would check it out. I'd go check out the line. I probably couldn't afford to live there.
No.
Well, that's all I got to say about that.
Yeah, I don't know if they're gonna make it like a rich people place, because does it even have a street? Like, rich people need a place to drive their expensive cars. Like, if it's just public transportation,
they'll have an airport at the top. You can land your jet, private jet.
I could actually imagine that they put just a highway on top.
You cover everything with a highway?
Yes, just on top, and it's all under the highway.
And then the smog would fall down into and suffocate everyone inside.
And then they also have to like build parking lots, like, and just next to the line, just like giant parking lot buildings.
No more cars. Shoot the tires. Shoot them.
I'm tired of tires.
Americans need cars to drive across the big desert in the middle of the country that nobody wants to be in.
You do that all the time, like every 2 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, I don't.
Like, yeah, of course.
Some people do for some reason.
You know what would be a cooler line is a vertical one. If they built like a line straight up.
Skyscraper, kid.
No. I mean like a 7 kilometer like into space. Like you could take an elevator to get to space, and then you could jump and then land on the moon. You just jump like 5 feet as it flies past. You're like, here it comes, and then you go whoop, splat, and you're on the moon.
I think space elevator is something I've heard before. Like, I think people tried that, or like at least there have been plans.
The Appleseed manga.
It's in Mega Man X8, the Jacob project for the orbital elevator. Because obviously they can't build space travel, not after the Eurasia incident. Obviously, we don't talk about the Eurasia incident.
What happened to Eurasia? Is it gone?
The space colony Eurasia, idiot. Not the continent group. Obviously. Listen, you don't know your history. Let me recommend a video for you that'll explain everything, huh?
Is there a real planet called Eurasia or something? Because there's a moon called Europe, so...
Europa.
No, it's not called...
In Mega Man X5, there is a it's an orbital, it's like a space colony like in orbit around the Earth called Space Colony Eurasia. It's like an artificial satellite.
I was just freaked out for a second because, like, holy shit, you call the moon Europa because that's what we call Europe. Like, they just have the same name in my language.
Think it's like one of Jupiter's moons or something is called Europa.
Saturn. Jupiter, Saturn. I'm
not sure. something like that. One of those stupid planets with like 18 moons that nobody gives a fuck about.
I think that one's interesting because it's like covered with water, ice, and liquid under the ice or something, and people say there could be aliens on there. There could be water aliens in the ice.
True.
It's not Appleseed. It's Battle Angel Alita manga has like this cool concept for a floating city that is suspended by in the air by there being an out of orbit other floating city that it's connected to, and like the out of orbit one is like pulling the other one up, and
it's like attached with like
it's attached with a large, this long like tube of stuff.
Yeah,
that's what
they're
I'm
like
thinking
tubes where they throw trash down, going down, and under the floating city there's like a second trash city where the story takes place.
Oh yeah, that's where Battle Angel Alita lives, and she has like adventures. And I gotta read the rest of this because I remember reading like the first volume at the library once.
Watched the live action movie, and it was actually it was good. It was good. I liked the movie.
Oh, I mean, I didn't see the movie, but like the manga is amazing.
Yeah,
it's
I'm
so
sure it is.
Sick.
It looks really good. But the movie also looked really good. It was really fun. I saw it like 3 times in the cinema. I went back and back just for the fun of it because it was cheap.
I read the first volume of that manga, and it freaked me out when that guy ate that lady's brain. That was fucked up.
That's also in the film, I think.
Really?
Or at least there's a scene where they like dissect like a lady who's just a character, and she's just a brain in a jar and like eyes like next to it or something.
Ugh.
It's fun.
Yeesh.
I always want to. I want these as physical copies because I don't like reading manga online that much. At least not when it's
I
long.
don't like it either.
But like I always see them in the bookstore, and they're like $20 to $30 a volume. And it's like so many of them.
Well, how many chapters is a volume?
I don't know how many chapters, but there's at least like 6 volumes. So it's like, it's like I could buy food for that.
What do we think about voicemails? Do you think it's about that time?
I think they suck. I mean, should we do them? Yes, let's do them.
Yeah, okay. I agreed on both counts. Okay. Let's see. I got them here.
I've never done this before. Last time I was here,
we didn't have voicemails. Well, I'll post them as attachments in the general to be listened to. Let me just find the first one. The first one from today is called Very Talented. My neck just cracked. Okay, here it is. 3, 2, 1, go.
I can make shadows, the Pokemon.
Could you understand that?
No.
He can make something, the Pokemon, and then he made a funny sound. I think he imitated a Pokemon? Or they imitated a Pokemon? I don't know.
Wait.
Bulba. Sar.
I can't understand it. The next one is Paramount. It's called Paramount. There's a voicemail attached. There's also a link. Here's the voicemail. 3, 2, 1, go.
And you have to look at this. I sent that SPCP hashtag, but I guess you just use it that one time because we couldn't voicemail. I don't know.
He's saying you use the SPCP. Yeah, I guess we don't check it.
Oh, the hashtag ASP. Well, I mean, I only check it when I make a tweet that's like, "Hey, we're doing it by voice." Yeah, I mean, I don't check the hashtag unless I announce it. Okay, this gammagirl.itch.io. This is like a claymation game called Gob.
This just looks cool.
It does look cool, actually.
It's got just the right amount of grunge.
Yeah. I mean, I think of Hylix when I see it, obviously.
So dirty.
I love this PDA they're holding that looks like the curved plastic of the 2000s.
Yeah. Is this like a... Okay, it's a point-and-click adventure. point and click mechanics without the pointing and clicking. It says
wordless design. What does it even have? No pointing, clicking, and no words.
I mean, seems neat. Seems nifty. Gob, huh? Okay. Cool. Next voicemail. Where did I put that? The next one is... Oh, there's an image link here. Da-da. Let's see what's in it. Big Mac, call the doctor quick. Applejack just did the blackout challenge for her TikTok.
Oh no, what the hell's that? I don't want to...
Isn't that like when you put like the black square on your social media in like solidarity with Black Lives Matter? It must be, I think I'm thinking of something
challenge?
Is that posted a challenge?
I guess that's not it.
Or maybe it is.
I would imagine it could be like a blackface that TikTok is like doing.
Well, she's like throwing up, so looks like it's something.
Oh, the blackout challenge is resurfaced on TikTok, and it's just still as dangerous as it was 16 years ago. It has resulted.
Oh, it's just hold your breath until you pass out.
Oh my god!
Awesome. Oh yeah, somebody died doing it.
It has resulted in more than 80 deaths, according to the CDC.
80! Oh my god!
I mean, TikTok is extremely popular, so fuck.
So is death. Okay, well, I get it.
Sad.
Why? Applebloom, why?
Why? For clout. For clout. Same reason to do everything. For clout.
She got the blackout challenge cutie mark. At last.
More like blackout, more like black clout. Nah, not really though. Not if you die. Next one is called Wiggler. No,
oh wait,
Wiggler Diggly.
Wait, don't play that one. That one's mine. I can just say what I said. That's stupid.
Are you sure?
Yes, I know. I recorded that yesterday before deciding that I want to be on this. Remember that voicemail last week about the person who said that like the new Pokemon game is gonna have like a regional type that's not a regional type. That's like Wiglet.
Yeah.
So like
the Diglett, the worm Diglett thing.
So what they said is that it's not a regional variant because regional variants can't change their biology or something like that. Like that's why there's never been a regional variant that's a bug type, because a bug type is like it's more fundamental to their biology, and it's not just attaching a different element to like an animal. So like, okay, Vulpix.
What the fuck?
Vulpix, for example, that's like a firefox, right? And the variant is just an ice fox. But like you couldn't easily make it a bug type, because what's a bug fox? That's gonna be something completely different.
Multiple eyes.
And like,
okay.
And with Wiglet is not like a mammal or like a mole kind of creature. It's an eel. It's a fish. So it's not like, and that's why it's specifically not a regional variant. And they said that when they announced that Pokemon. So it's they're doing something new.
I guess so. I guess it's just sort of confusing because Pokemon, biology doesn't necessarily correlate to the way that we have genuses and subspecies in real life.
Sure, yeah.
And evolution, the actual way it is.
I feel like whether it is or isn't a regional variant is sort of like a semantic difference. Like, like regional variants are still a distinct creature.
In Pokemon, yeah. I guess the idea is that regional variants in the real world are like, oh, it's like the same species, like,
but a different
Pokemon
color of fur.
Follow.
I know, but that
Pokemon doesn't follow real world rules. So what does that?
Well, that's
matter?
what I mean. It's like if the regional variants and this new thing are following like real life rules for naming conventions, then I guess they're not regional variants.
It's just kind of the difference between like a white bunny and a dark brown bunny that's bigger, and like a horse and a seahorse. Like they're trying something there.
I mean, to me, it's like this is sort of like I don't know, like a Pachirisu. Like a Pachirisu is not Pikachu, but it's sort of a similar creature inspired by the other thing. Like,
and that's not a variant of Pikachu.
Yeah.
Like there's like an Alolan like Raichu.
There's an Alolan Raichu, yeah.
That's kind of just different colored and has psychic type or something, and like that's I don't know. I think it's neat when they try new things. Sometimes.
I mean,
I still don't think there's like a rule that says you can't have a bug variant of a region.
It just hasn't happened yet.
You could easily have like a regional variant of like Butterfree that's like bug ghost type or something, and it just like is purple. I don't know.
It's a
right.
Yeah, when the butterflies go to this region, they all die.
It has like a needle in it. It's like on styrofoam.
Oh yeah,
like it's
like it's been preserved. Very nice.
Yes.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah, I mean, I guess I get what you're saying. That like, it would be weird if something were a bug.
That's a good
that's
quote.
not true. I mean, they could make like, what if they made like a regional variant of Krabby that was like a land crab and it was like Bug Rock or Bug Ground or something?
Yeah,
something like that.
I guess that's still like the same. It's still the same. Like basic species kind of.
Crabs are just sea bugs.
It's fucked up that it's just pure water type.
I mean, bug is not an.
If there's a rule that says mammals have to be mammals and they can't be bugs, then I don't want to live in that world.
I mean, we don't have a bug evolution. That's sad.
Not yet.
I don't think
they'll have to do it at some point.
I don't think they're ever gonna add a new one. The last
what do you mean they don't have what do you mean they don't have a bug evolution? For Eevee. Oh yeah. You don't think they'll add more evolutions?
I mean, the last time was like 3 games ago or something.
I feel like they might add another one. I mean, if they, I don't know why they wouldn't. I see no reason not to add a new one every now and then.
Like, what is left? Steel,
Dragon, bug,
dragon, ghost,
ground, rock, fighting.
Do they not have a ground or a rock?
No, I don't think so.
No.
Those are obvious ones. You gotta have a rock dog.
Yeah.
It just feels like there's so many obvious ones that it's weird that they haven't done any for Sun and Moon and Sword and Shield.
I agree. Why stop with Fairy? Why stop at, what do they got, like 8 or something?
Like, they didn't even stop just with like the normal elemental things that.
No, they did Dark and Psychic.
There's still elemental ones missing.
Yeah, they did Dark and Psychic, which are weird.
It feels random.
They could totally do a whole bunch more, and I don't know why they wouldn't.
Got an Order and Chaos.
Maybe I mean, with the bug one, like, what would be like a weird bug cat? Like, just a cat that has like a segmented like body.
I feel like it would be like have like a fluffy sort of like moth, like neck fruff, and maybe it would have little bug wings. Okay. Maybe you could just have compound
and little
eyes, maybe.
I
think they could do a cool one. I was shocked.
Pokemon games forever, so at some point
I was shocked to see that they made a frickin' what are they called? Oh god, what are they called? The golems with the dots on them.
Claydol.
No.
Oh no,
the Reggies. I was shocked to make this. They made a frickin' dragon Reggie. Like, what the fuck is that? Like, what the fuck is that?
I forgot about those guys.
Everybody did.
I think it looks cool, though.
It looks cool, but like...
That one looks better than the other Reggies.
It looks... I mean, it's weird that, like... What, it's, like, made of, like... It's made of dragon? Like, what the fuck? What the fuck? But, I mean, if they'll do that...
I mean, what are any of the Reggies?
I mean, it's pretty clear that like the first 3 or the first 4 are like creatures that are made of stuff. And they're like a golem made of ice, a golem made of rock, a golem made of steel, a golem made of, I don't know, nothing for his Regigigas.
Made
of normal
gigas.
stuff. And then, oh yeah, how about a golem that's made of electricity? How about a golem that's made of the concept of being a dragon?
Do they even have a Reggie water?
I think it's just those 6.
I mean, there's an eye.
Yeah,
Reggie.
Regice.
Yeah. Well,
Wait, it was Ice, Rock, Steel, and then they and Gigas, and then they added Electric and Dragon, and that right? They just added the 2.
I don't even remember.
I don't even know if they have an electric.
They do have an
I
electric.
I
one.
still like his design. He's just a guy. He's just an orb with little feet.
Which one?
Reggie Drago. I just put him in the description. Look at it. He's like the uvula of a dragon, or a tongue. He's like the tongue of a dragon.
I imagine it's like some kind of species that lives inside of dragon skulls, like a hermit crab or something like
Ew.
that gets bored or like
what the fuck is
it's a
that?
llama. It's a llama.
I'm sorry.
That lives in
This one, honestly, this one actually kind of bugs me a little bit because, like, what the fuck is it?
There's lots of Pokemon
It's a sphere of dragon meat with a skull of itself.
It looks
like
mysterious.
Like, what is it made of? Yeah.
Dragon.
Sure, I get.
You know, in Elden Ring, you get a sword when you kill the big dragon guy, and it's made out of dragon. Just a dragon piece.
Makes
Like,
sense.
if there was some like rule for the Reggies being like imbued with an essence of something, then I guess if you shove a dragon in there, it could make a dragon guy.
just shove a dragon in and see what.
Shove a dragon in there.
I mean,
If you put a ferret in there, there could be like a Reggie ferret.
The thing is, like, the concept of being a dragon is so loose too. Like it makes sense if something is like electric because it has electric powers. But what does it even mean to have?
It's
dragon
really it's
powers?
it's just a social construct, kind of like bug.
Yeah,
There's no such thing as a bug.
there's a bit more to bug. There's a bit more biology to bug. It's like they're all like arthropods, right?
Right,
Like,
but I mean, like, Krabby is not a bug, even though it's also an arthropod.
yeah,
Yeah.
there's always weird exceptions. I mean,
But even dragon, it's even more
is
like
the name of the fire. What about the starter fire dragon? I forgot his name. Fuck. He's the dragon type evil, right?
How could you forget Charizard?
Well, first of all, I didn't grow up with Pokemon. I played my first Pokemon game like 3 years ago. And also, I know the German names. It's Glumanda.
Glumanda,
like glued, like
Glumanda.
glooming. No, embers. It's named after embers, basically.
Neat. Well, you know, they made him. He has the dragon type, mega evolution, but like whatever.
Oh,
yeah.
Glumanda.
He's clearly a dragon, but they didn't make him one because
Gluak.
I don't know, for balancing reasons. I guess because the dragon type was too good in Gen 1. I think that's probably why.
Yeah, it's just funny that's the most iconic looking dragon. Just looks like a normal European idea of a dragon more than anyone else.
I really liked Dranpa. I thought Dranpa was really cool. You know him from I think he's from X and Y. No, he might be from Alola.
What one was that?
The one that sort of looks like a Chinese dragon.
Oh yeah, no, that's from Alola. Like,
okay, yeah,
that looks kind of watery, flowy,
with like the white like furry tail and stuff.
Yeah, that's neat.
I like him a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot of cool dragons. I like dragons. They should just make Pokemon, but just with dragons.
Hey, was Temtem any good? Anyone play Temtem?
No idea.
You know, they made
Nope.
some indie devs made like a Pokemon MMO called Temtem. I mean, it wasn't officially Pokemon. And then I heard a lot of buzz around it when it came out, and then I haven't really heard anything about it in a while.
I mean, a thing I like wins or falls with the monster designs, right? Like they gotta be really good to like be a competitor.
Yeah.
And it's like
I don't really remember. I didn't really see that many of them, so I don't know if they were any good or not.
I don't know, they look alright. Some of them look a bit too much like Pokemon, and some of them don't really look too much like anything. Like, here's a picture of their poster, I guess.
Okay. All right.
They look like fun creatures, but I don't know if they probably don't have the same degree of iconicism as Pokemon designs have.
When I heard about it, I was really excited about it because I'd always thought a Pokemon MMO would be super cool. So I kind of in the back of my mind said I should play that. But like, yeah, I haven't heard much about it for a while now. So I don't know. I wonder if it was any. I wonder if it was any good.
I think people overlook the marketing of the original Pokemon games and how it's just sort of like aesthetically pleasing to have like a blue Pokemon and a red Pokemon and a green Pokemon and choose.
Yeah, these are immediately too complex, I think.
There's no like theme. I can
tell which one's the starters
with the color design. Who's the starters? It's just sort of like, what if there were cool monster designs? So it's like, yeah, I mean, sure. But like, who's your mascot? I don't know who Temtem's mascot is.
That's why they keep the Gen 1 Pokemon in every Pokemon game almost. Like, these are so iconic. Can't get rid of them.
There's an old Tim Rogers video for Kotaku where he talks about Pokemon. Yeah, and he says that like the marketing of Pokemon with like the red and blue, like it's like layers and layers of like making you make decisions about it. Like before you even play the game, you have to choose red or blue. And you're already invested. And even before that, like even when you hear about Pokemon, you have to choose like which one would you play, red or blue. And then it's like, well, you have to pick one or the other, or else you have to make the conscious decision not to play it. Like in order to not play it, you have to make a conscious decision not to do that.
Yeah.
It's
pretty genius, actually.
Yeah,
that's why
it's like immediately presenting you with this binary set of options, and it's like, well, you're already playing the game, much like Undertale. You're already playing the game, whether you want to or not.
I'm probably gonna play the new one. I don't have a Switch, but I'm sometimes babysitting my little cousin, and he has a Switch, so I can just like when he goes to bed, I can just play on the Switch and. He usually gets the new Pokemon games and stuff.
Mercifully, I do not have a Switch.
Wait, didn't you play Animal Crossing?
I played it on my roommate's Switch. Yeah.
The roommate's gone now.
Yeah, so I guess I'll never go back to Yakitori Island.
Aw. What about your roses?
Make like a billion black roses. Yeah,
all those roses are gone.
Damn.
Oh well.
That actually makes me a little sad.
Oh well, it passed the time. I was
like a whole arc.
Yeah, true. I was gonna build I sort of had built up sort of a little piece of the island. I was gonna make a little like industrial city complex like in one corner. That was the goal anyway. I kind of ended up sort of struggling with like what my options were and like how I could even make that really happen. So, I don't know. It's okay.
Is the new Leaf Animal Crossing, is that good? Because I have it. I haven't played it yet.
On the DS?
I think it's for the 2DS, 3DS.
I think I played it a bit. I don't know if I definitely didn't play it as much as New Horizons. I mean, I think it's got most of what New Horizons has.
Oh.
Well,
like all the customization is neat, and
maybe not
what I've seen from New.
Maybe not as much item variety as that, but anyway, where was I? We were on the next
more voicemails.
The next voicemail
next
was
By the way, I may need to go in like 40 minutes. I'm a little strapped for time.
Well, let's try and get through these. The next one is called Week of 10/29/22. I think this is Vinny's stuff.
It's an album.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an album.
Why is the thumbnail of a fat molecule?
We'll find out in context.
Coworker saw me doodling.
They're making it harder to. They're making it harder to stay sane at work. I couldn't draw as much as I'd like to. Coworker saw me doodling and asked if I could do a dragon, so I did.
It's a good dragon.
Ben Saint. God, I hope he didn't see you drawing Ben Saint's stand slime time and ask, like, hey, what are you drawing? Like, hey, what's... The first figure closest to him is Lipid, then Uwhoopity, then to the right is Toxicity. Toxicity is Ben's bile and expulsions compressed into a dense structure to make its touch lethal. Ben Saint is filth and fury down to the bone. So what's Lipid? Is it my fat? Is it my keto?
Yeah, I guess.
Keto fat?
It's your fat, your slime, and your bile.
Great.
Buffalo Whoopity is very distracting, very scary.
I'm checking my phone. One sec.
So how?
One sec. Checking Twitter.
Lol, take your time. I know what you're doing. Wait, do I have another guitar there? Is it like a little ukulele case?
Yes. So what's in the smaller guitar case? I know you play the one.
Oh, this. It's actually a gift I was given. Given for
Isomoto Oligosaccharide?
Oh, shit!
Holy shit.
Yep.
I can't believe it.
Why would I carry it in a little ukulele case?
It's like a Breaking Bad blue crystal meth. The fat molecule. This is what Ben Saint Stan's original shape is.
What?
These are lipid. I know
these
what
lipids.
That's fats, right?
Yeah. This is just a diagram of variations I was looking for. We're designing the stand for Ben Saint. Wait. I'm looking at... the shape of the head is like the molecule, I think. That's very strange. I get so many stands. I'm just awash with stands. Very cool. Thanks, Vinny.
I just really like that they added the dragon. That's very
yeah.
Here's a dragon.
I want to see all the dragons. Please draw more dragons.
More dragons. Next one is...
And dragon types.
An untitled album. We finally
single image.
Found it. A mammoth. And it's Pop Tropica, Lego.
Oh, it's a...
Pop Tropica.
It's a Lego... It's a Lego mammoth.
Who and why?
I don't even know this.
Pretty cool little custom bespoke piece for a mammoth trapped in an ice block.
Yeah.
Very, very nifty.
I actually had a Playmobil play world that was the same thing but with dinosaurs trapped in ice cubes and stuff, and do you know Playmobil? Is that a thing over there?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I never had it, but I know. Is it like Duplo?
It's not building blocks, but it's still kind of
the similarity is the little people have removable hair, and they can put little things in their Lego mitten.
Yeah, and they're still kind of made of different segments that you can build in different ways, but it's not as it's not tiny pieces. It's bigger segments. It's way cheaper than it's definitely way cheaper than Lego, and they just make better sets for your money. But
plastic is used more efficiently. I always liked it with Playmobil. You could take their hair off and replace it with different hair, but inside their head is it's just a hollow little sphere. So if you take their hair off and you misplace it, they are now an open skull.
They're Maggie
weirdo
from Me. Put a little maggot inside.
Oh, right.
Oh yeah.
Okay, then next one is called Wild Tales. Use Streamio. Shh, piracy. 3, 2, 1, go.
Very cool, very interesting Argentinian movie, Wild Tales. I think Ben would really like it. It's like human thesis, human dissertation. Inspire me for a lot of stuff.
What did he say?
Ben would like
It's
it.
like
There's a human thesis in it, so like
human thesis?
yeah.
You know, like a thesis on human condition or something.
Yeah.
Is that all he said about it? Well,
I think so.
Six short stories that explore the extremities of human behavior involving people in distress.
I love people in distress.
True. I mean, I'm down for vignettes, I guess. I don't know, could be good. All right, next one is called Ben Saint, more like Ben Stupid.
Oh,
That's just mean. That's just uncalled for. 3, 2, 1, go.
The late Sonic Cirrhosis. Is that what Sonic Cirrhosis? Literally 20 years plus of using the internet, and you don't know what Sonic OCs look like? Wow, Ben Saint.
What?
And I thought you were the smart one.
Yes, I do.
You-
What is
you
he
made
talking
a-
about?
You made a brief goof where you thought something was a Sonic Chew OC rather than just a Sonic OC.
Right. Oh, that's right. My mind just went. I just think. I'm sorry. I'm literally more familiar with Sonichu than I am with Sonic the Hedgehog. I have consumed more Sonichu media, so
terrifying.
it's just where my mind goes. I'm sorry. I've never played a Sonic game, and I never will.
Incredible. Even I played a Sonic game.
I mean, I played a little bit of like and Knuckles on like my friend's Genesis when I was like a little kid. Next one is called Ben Saint, more like Ben Stupid 2. The sequel. Okay. Wait. Sorry, I'm posting it now. There it is. 3, 2, 1, go.
An addendum to that last one, like literally, you were a brony, Ben Saint. You were Brony Saint. Phantom Horn. Did you forget that?
No.
Have you literally forgotten?
No.
Like the Pony OC
What do you mean?
shit you
Bullying
were
me.
drawing? Like, fucking wow.
Gotcha.
What did I do to deserve this?
This guy's really pissed off.
He
Was really
he hurt his
offensive.
feelings. Yeah. Next one is called Is This Canon Gwib? I think it's meant to say Gib. There it is. It's an Imgur. It's an Imgur album. British people having sex be like,
Scrumptious. It's
I'm
Tuesday in
right.
it. Why would you say it's Tuesday during a sex? That's got nothing to do with it.
oh, Eleazar, don't link this one because it gives you the like it gives you the like mature content warning, like are
too
you
spicy for
18
YouTube.
plus? Yeah, I mean, last time when we linked Vinny's album, even though there was nothing bad in it, because it asked like, "Are you 18 plus?" It like gave us a freaking content strike. So Eleazar, do not link this album, please. Although I'm pretty sure you can show the image.
Yes, it's true. It is always Tuesday when British people have sex.
It's always Tuesday, but I'm waiting for shit Wednesday.
That's after.
When the Holy Spirit will give me my tongues. There's only one more. Only one more of these damnable things. It is wait, I found it. It's called I Scream Halloween into my mic for 40 seconds.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Okay, let's do it. 3, 2, 1, go.
Boys and girls of every age, wouldn't you like to see something strange? Come with us and you will see. This is a town of Halloween. This is Halloween. This is Halloween. Pumpkin
This is not
scream in the
what he said it would be.
night. This is Halloween. Everybody make a scene.
We're gonna get copyright. We're gonna get copyright ID for the movie song.
We go home. Everybody hails to the pumpkin song. Nya, 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 nya.
Better than I thought it would be. I was hoping for him to scream the word Halloween.
I mean, that's what he advertised.
Yeah, I'm a bit disappointed.
So I feel disappointed. Yeah, I feel like I was misled.
It does remind me of the Nlakakam version, the Endless War version that everybody did.
Oh, that's why I know this song from.
That, I mean, first I gotta just, yes, that was so great. But second, what do you mean you don't know the original?
I don't think so.
It's The Nightmare
Oh my
Before
God.
Christmas, Tim Burton film with a big skeleton guy.
That's so funny.
Oh God,
That's
I
so
actually
funny.
haven't
You
seen
heard
that
the
yet.
Nlakakam version.
I haven't seen that yet.
Well, I was too scared to watch it as a kid. I thought it looked spooky.
Damn. Maybe I should
It
watch it
was
tomorrow.
spooky, but I did watch it, and I was scared by the bugs coming from the big guy.
Oh, that sounds great. I should watch it actually.
Oh yeah, there's a
Oh,
guy
yeah,
who's
yeah.
filled with bugs, and it's
There is.
disturbing.
There's a
Wonderful.
bug guy. We're done. We fulfilled our
Oh my
obligations.
God.
Hooray!
Oh God, that was 3.5 hours. Oh my God, where does the time go?
I'm really hungry and it's really dark.
It is.
I'm sleepy. I want to go to bed. Or I was up all night. I fucked up my sleep schedule the night I started the render, because nothing matters anymore.
True.
Okay. Well,
Any last words before we walk the plank?
Twitter.com/Neverpaint. Please commission me. I draw you
Commission
anything.
Neverpaint. Neverpaint will draw anything.
Except if it's like bad.
yeah.
Anything
I'll
unless
draw
it's bad.
things that are bad. You can commission me if you have a bad idea.
Like if you want to draw
Mm.
like Nazi propaganda, Gib will draw it.
Oh, I
Right.
don't know about that.
Good ideas
what I
to
meant.
Neverpaint, bad ideas to give. That's how we're doing the division of labor here. Check out my Mega Man lecture on my channel, unless something went wrong and for some tragic, unforeseen reason, it was not able to happen. Unless I had a power outage at some point in the next 89 hours and my render fails or something like that. That
What
would be
number is
sad.
it at right now?
Oh, do we at 24? We're at 24, baby!
Oh.
We're getting there. 24%. That's almost a quarter. Patreon.com/The Pro Crastinators. In case you haven't heard all the bonus content.
Help make
we should make another-
PCPHQ real.
Help make PCPHQ real. We are so close. We are getting closer every day.
Every plooge gets us closer.
That's true. It's true. I guess I think that's everything. I think that's all. Oh, speakpipe.com/PCB voicemail if you want to leave us a voicemail for next week. And that's gonna do it, I think. Goodbye for now.
Good night, everybody.
Good morning, Australia, or whoever. Somebody's in Australia.
Are they though?
I hope not. I hope we don't have any listeners in Australia.
We have at least one.
Ugh, don't tell me that.